What's up, YouTube? Irish USMC Vet here. Day 5 of the Corona Apocalypse. Quarantine. I'll let this joint warm up while everybody's coming in. Stigger has his link. All right. Questions. Put them over there in the comment section. We'll get to answering them here in just a little bit. Hope everybody is woke up safe. Good morning, Walter Davis. How you doing today, sir? Anything new to report from your area? Mr. Stinger has joined us with his pimp towel.
Why you sound sick, bro?
Firewatch. Just watchful
Luckily,
warrior. Simplify second tanks in the house. My man, what's up, brother? If you still have a tank, I would be interested in the use of that said tank.
can that be rented out?
Yeah. And how close are you to Indiana, Kentucky? Things getting quiet.
Anybody take advantage of that silver deal that I found for everybody yesterday?
No, we're all still waiting on our $1,000 checks from Uncle Sam.
Apparently, silver's going down even more in price, down to almost $12 even.
Yeah.
Watchful Warrior is waiting to capture one, apparently.
All right. Well, I will definitely have to. Do you have a channel there, Watchful Warrior? Because I'll definitely have to subscribe to you. I always support my fellow brethren. Oh, quickly, the video that we did the other day, I said I had the barrel from the 50 cal that had melted and shot through. It was not. I remember now. The reason why it was broken, it was hot. It was like almost liquefied, and it was actually off a helicopter. And the captain that was flying the helicopter came in and landed the bitch and stuck it into the concrete. So it broke the barrel. It was already drooping, but it broke it. So that's why it looked like the bullet had passed through it. So I wanted to correct that.
Okay.
So that everyone didn't think I was full of shit. Morning, Roto Girl. All right. So Walter Davis is in the house. Good morning, sir. Watchful Warrior, thanks for joining us today. Good morning, Roto Girl.
And so Walter Davis, very strange. The metals are dropping, almost like a monetary reset is coming. Yeah, it's funny because a lot of times when right before the metals shoot the moon, they go to $50 an ounce. There's been a couple times it has. Right before it starts doing that, it takes a massive dip, and maybe. But either way, if prices continue to be this price, I'm still a buyer. I mean, it's not going to stay like that forever.
The real panic is like I called this the other day. I was watching back through some of the videos. No, not because I'm a narcissist, but I had to fix somebody's errors in the video. But I said gas will be 99 cents, and if gas gets to 99 cents or 89 cents like I was, yeah, be very scared.
I still haven't seen that price drop here. It's still almost $3 a gallon.
Oh,
it's a few days ago. It was still at $2.98.
$1.60 as of yesterday.
We really need a motion. Yeah.
Well, they can. This is probably not bringing it there. And the problem with like places where you're at, they can't bring the gas out there as quickly as they can here. So here they have to sell it at the lower price.
Right.
Once they bring it in.
If I moved out there, I'd have no excuse not to buy a Raptor. So here's your morning metal prices.
Woo! As soon as the coffee gets brewing here, we'll get into stuff.
$16 an ounce a few days ago. Yeah, well, it's at $14.74 now. Yeah, it was pushing pushing almost 1,700 there a few days back. I remember that. And palladium has taken even a bigger hit percentage-wise than gold or silver, I believe. Palladium's down to under $2,000 an ounce last time I checked. I don't really check it because palladium is a little rich for my game. Scottsdale Mint is still selling, and as of yesterday, still had in stock some good amount of silver. You have to buy like 100 ounces, but you can get it for like $13 an ounce. So until they're sold out, which they might be by now, because I did kind of share that a little bit.
Oh yeah, on everybody's chat, bruh.
Dude, I help people out. I can't even afford an ounce myself right now. But, what am I going to do? Hope that it's still there by the time I get some money?
Yeah, no, I got you. I'm just fucking with you. HDP's like, wow.
Oh, man, it was hard to get him to notice my comment, too. Well, I mean, he's driving, so.
Yeah. Well, what's up, kitties? Good morning, kitties. Where are the kitties at? I just heard someone scream. Or, well, not scream, but cry. Whatever. Meow at me. Looking in the rafters to make sure I'm not going to be jumped on. So, everybody else is doing all right. No concerns. No rioting. Everything was pretty well quiet last night.
That's good.
A few more vehicles than usual, but nothing really to report. Got some information from brother-in-laws who are currently trapped in the Chicago area. Let's see.
Yeah, they do.
Wow, there's this guy that just sent me a thing saying I need a link to the chat. Should I say his real name and spend 4 hours trying to figure out how to trim it out?
Don't know.
What do we got?
So this is just palladium's price right now. Palladium price per ounce, $16.70 an ounce. That's about what gold was a few days ago. That is crazy. If that you can find that deal and you have the money, I would jump all over that. That's gonna shoot right back up. That's a great deal for palladium. Yeah. You'll have to text me if you any information on that if you want my opinion, bro. On Yeah, Watchful Warrior says OPEC is driving down the oil price. It's affecting the Russians and the Iranians market, crashing their currency. OPEC. Well, I heard something about Saudi Arabia is opening the floodgates of oil right now, just flooding the market with it. So I don't know. I don't know a lot about it though.
So the current intel from the Chicagoland area. Tomorrow, dear Chicagoan, tomorrow Mayor Lori E. Lightfoot will address Chicago's residents about COVID-19. City Hall at 5 p.m. This is an actual email that I can't show you because I have people's pertinent information on it, but the mayor's office is actually sending out emails to everyone, kind of like the emergency alert system for tornadoes, hurricanes, and all that crap. But she's actually sent out. Let me see if I can save it. But anyways, Mayor Lightfoot recognizes that Chicago residents are stakeholders across the spectrum and being impacted by the virus outbreak. And in her speech, she will outline the steps she is taking to protect all communities. So then my other brother, he says, let me see here, just un momento. There will be a quarantine, I'm sure. It started already. People being positive at work. But we're all good. I have to wear a full face respirator all day. Everyone here in the house is good though. And he also sent me, and I can't show that. I can show this from. He is considered a personnel that has to come to work no matter what. Whether or not they're sick or not, they're making them come to work. So, and that, since I got the name taken off of that, they can't know who he is. My brother in Fort Wayne is sending me pictures of a weekly pill organizer, sealer, and batteries for easy tear. Oh, because he wants me to start. He wants me to start selling the elderberry and putting in capsules. The dried elderberry. Okay. All right. Let's see what else is going on back here.
Mr. Tommy Boy 9's checking in. I was hoping you'd be in here yesterday when I found that great deal on silver, because I know you were looking for some. And apparently, you found 2 100-ounce silver bars at less than $3,000, or at least got half of what I wanted elsewhere. I don't know. Did you get it from the Scottsdale Mint? Because that's the link that I've been sending out. You can get 100 ounces from the Scottsdale Mint for about $13 and something cents per ounce, so it's $1,300. So technically, you could get 2 of them for $2,600. So, yeah. And if you use that and you want to feel generous, I can give you a PO box. Finder's fees and shit. No.
We may or may not be able to get to it.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like 15 days, I think, is the shipping time on that anyway. Watchful Warriors giving away silver. Holy crap. I'm giving away an ounce of silver and an ounce of copper coins in an upcoming giveaway. Well, shit, we're going to have to check out Watchful Warriors channel.
Well, we'll definitely subscribe to the channel, but I'm not entering into the contest because I don't enter contests after they put them up like that. I don't go to people's channels just to enter contests.
Oh, yeah.
You remember how they used to do that back in the day? Well, shit,
Yeah,
I got 3,000 subscribers, and
that's how you get a start on YouTube, right?
Yeah, but then they would all leave.
Or I just want to watch your shit.
Well, that's fine. You can, as long as you stayed subscribed, and didn't watch it. That, of course, I'm demonetized because I use colorful language and I'm politically incorrect and all the other good jazz.
Yep.
But yeah, we're definitely subscribed to the channel.
I finally got my 10-ounce bar in the mail. From,
sweet.
Silver and Gold Bull. This is their introductory offer. So it took about 15 days before all this shit started going down. So.
All right, so I know one of my Firewatch guys was out there, and this for you for eating the last 2 packs of pretzel Pop-Tarts. You know who you are, so you owe me. If you go on a Walmart run or anything, you best find me some pretzel Pop-Tarts, or we're gonna have some issues. You're gonna be doing a lot more Firewatch without access to the pantry. So shit's getting real now. You done shanked all my Pop-Tarts, my pretzel Pop-Tarts. All right, I have enough. Let somebody else win it. It says Tommy Boy 9. One of my subs donated it to me, so I'm giving it away. Awesome. I could be that watchful.
Oh, she wants the silver. She wants to win this contest.
Oh, I just looked into my gold bag and got ounces galore. So Mr. TV9 was the reason why I was hiding yesterday was because he's a leprechaun and he didn't want anybody to find his pot of gold.
He's out there hustling.
At least you can make bullets out of them. Yeah, well,
you want to start sending bullets made of silver downrange.
Yeah.
I think I'll send rocks or salt before I go with silver.
I think I'm gonna dig out the old Darth Vader mask, and I think
I'll pretend to be the Lone Ranger and have a silver mine.
You know, I've actually thought about that. I got a pretty cool mask. It's the Predator mask. I thought about that and just incorporating that into a NBC
That's
mask.
good. Yeah, the wife's mask that she uses kind of looks like one of those ninja masks from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Well, Darth Vader has, he has the original mask has the box that hangs down from it, and it has the voice modulator in it. So when you talk up here, it translates it out here to and all that stuff. So you could just essentially put your face mask behind that, and then run the old gas mask thing or the forced air unit, the Ryan Air unit down to there, and then feed yourself oxygen. Well, let's see what's going on.
Right.
I have bags of junk silver. Watchful Warrior.
Cool.
I
need it. Right now, it's going down in price, so obviously don't get rid of it yet. But if the dollar crashes, you'll be set. That's how, that's the year. Although you can get that new fancy stuff, it's like $9.99 quarters.
No layoffs, reduced rent, Italian cure for the pandemic. Stocks wipe out all gains under Trump presidency. Gas prices could go below $1 a gallon. I'm telling you.
We're still going to be paying $3 over here. We need to move. We're going to be saving money in the long run.
Just in gas prices?
Seriously. I mean, that's $2 extra a gallon. If it's $1 a gallon and we're paying $3.
Drive-through sites popping up slowly, so I guess they're rolling out the drive-through sites. It's not confirmed, but it's intel anyways. I'll give it, so discern. You decide what it's worth. Supposedly, they're going to shut down Louisville, Kentucky. A lady was all over Facebooks, I guess, or social media in general, saying that they were going to close down. The National Guard was going to close down the city, and that they were going to be only going places with work papers to get back and forth to UPS to critical infrastructure. I cannot confirm that, but if somebody else can, other than the crazy lady that was panicking, which I understand why she's panicked, but.
Did you hear the president's speech yesterday?
No, I did not.
Apparently, some people are calling this the Kung Flu virus.
Oh yeah, that's the hashtag everybody's using on
I'm loving it,
Instagram.
Man. Like, everybody was Kung Flu virus.
Yeah, I've seen that on Instagram and Twitter. That was days ago, though. I didn't.
Was it? Oh, see, this is. I don't watch. I don't do the Twitter or the Facebook that much.
I don't do the face crook, but I guess I kind of do because I do Instagram. But
8-year driver's license, dude. When you get a driver's license here in Arizona, it's good until you're 65. So if you get it like when you turn 16, it won't expire for a very long time. I mean, obviously, if you change your address, you got to get it renewed, though. So what's the point?
Watchful Warrior, all quarters that were minted before 64. Yes. That's always good to know. I have that wrote down on every edge of the shelves that I've made. I make shelves and then I'll hang them up or whatever. And on the edge of the wood, I go through and write with a marker or a pen or something like that all the years of the quarter. So that way, if I'm sitting at that desk or
that's
that
good for
location.
Most everything. I mean, it's good for the dimes too. It's not necessarily good for the $50, but kind of is because 64 was the last 90% $50. After that, until 1970, I believe it was then 40%. Which, when you get to 40%, I mean, it's kind of not cost effective.
So Mr. Tommy Boy 9 says there was no. He went to the hostess outlet and no bread.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We don't have a Hostess outlet anymore. That closed down a couple years ago, but that's usually where they sell all the extra stuff to get rid of. So
Pretty hard to
interesting.
find bread around here too.
Keto bread though,
Yeah, nobody wants the keto bread
except us.
except for us. That's right.
Everything out of control inside first U.S. city on lockdown. See what that's all about. San Francisco. They locked down the San Francisco treat. What? Chef for 30 years said he'd been laid off with 17 other employees. We'll post that up. Just a good gambit of what is going on. Oh, we have a having trouble connecting. Please check your internet connection. Am I frozen?
No, you're fine. Watch for he's educating us. Yes, $1.40 is all you need to really remember. $1.40 in any denomination is an ounce of silver. So if it's like 4 quarters and 4 dimes, it's $1.40. That's an ounce of silver. So technically, 6 quarters is probably a bit more because that's $1.50. So that would be over an ounce.
Oh, wow, they actually had eggs. And milk there was running low. Most of the shelves were empty. Yes, most of the shelves are empty here as well. No. You don't get on there. No.
Check your local Asian markets or rural food markets. Like,
stay out of the rural areas. You might, yeah, just don't come here. Hey, you laugh, but I have people calling me and be like, "Hey, is that farmers market still open?" I'm like, "Nope, they closed. They closed."
I don't know. See, that's my downfall, right? I try to help people. So.
Well, these people just wanted to go buy the honey, and so they could resell it.
Yeah. See, I don't have time for those kind of people.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Your bodybuilding friend.
Yeah.
You were talking about yesterday.
Oh my God, that guy.
Was that on a video or our chat? I don't remember.
I don't know.
But this is the same kind of person. Like, they just go around and snatch up stuff, and then
they are prepared. If you ask them if they're a prepper, he would say yes, because he has prepped all the places and all the people he knows to where he's going to have his shit when he needs it. He doesn't have any, he doesn't have anything in his house, but he knows people, right? And he thinks he can manipulate them into doing whatever he wants. So I helped him out, but I didn't give him anything of my own, because he's trying to convince me I need more food when I got 2 months of food, and I apparently need more, and I have too many guns, and he wants one. So he's going to buy one of mine because he doesn't want to go to a local gun store and buy his own. And he has this misnomer. He thinks he's, as I said yesterday, he thinks he knows everything there is to know about guns, but he calls me because he knows I know my shit. But then he tells me how shit is. Like, I don't want to go do that because it's going to take me however many days to get the gun. I'm like, no, dude, it's instant. It's like 30 minutes. You got to do a background check. It's got to come back clean. You leave with the gun,
Did he ever even contact you back to let you know if he got it?
No, I didn't, because I've outlived my usefulness now. He's on to this next panic buy.
Good morning. Yeah, go ahead, continue. I was just going to say good morning to QC Hemp 420, Eastern Iowa, checking in. Plenty of beer there. Yeah, the liquor stores are fine. I mean,
yeah, I went and I saw there was Corona beer all over the place, man. I was halfway tempted to get me some Coronas.
Yes, we enjoyed some Coronas on.
That's my favorite beer, to be honest. That with a little bit of lime.
Corona with lime. Yes, we done that on St. Patrick's Day. Not too much because want to stay frosty, but
yeah.
We had a Corona party, and that's what the wife called it. So plenty of beer out there. QC Hemp 420. What about everything else in the stores? How are you looking out there? Iowa, That's a pretty spread out place. At least whenever I was out there. One of my cousins lived out there for work. Plenty of alcohol in our stores too, says Riddle Girl. Mr. TB9 said, I asked the hostess cashier, and her daughter was on the phone, and she said the store I go to where loading the eggs last night when she was there. Okay. Alcohol would be a good barter item. Say trade it for TP, right? Actually, plenty of alcohol in Pennsylvania stores, but governor shut down stores. So he shut them all down. You can't go in at all, like not even drive through. I know in Florida they used to have the beverage castle that you could drive through alcohol. So, I mean, maybe they'll be throwing up some covered shelters to do that. Lucky for me, I asked and scored. Mr. TB9, congratulations.
TB9's getting all the good stuff.
Yeah, he's been hoarding all that cash all these years, and he's just like, yeah, now's the time to spend it.
No.
Watch for Warrior. I recently had Mexican Modelo beer. It was really good. I've never had that.
I'm not usually a beer fan. I don't like beer usually. Every once in a while.
Gas $1.90. Walmart. Aldi hit hard. Hy-Vee still good.
I've heard of Aldi's.
Yeah, Aldi's. I've heard of that. Hy-Vee. Yeah, I haven't heard that. Is that like a Walmart? Excuse me. Oh, one thing that like I never even crossed my mind because I've been telling everybody get zinc and all this other stuff. Protein powders. I mean, never thought. I mean, that's a meal replacement there. I mean, it wouldn't get the nasty stuff, but everybody's tastes are different. But I mean, I would definitely. They're not selling out of that stuff at the weightlifting warehouses and stuff. Okay, so QC Hemp says Hy-Vee upper scale grocery store. Also, it's like a Whole Foods. Yeah, Whole Foods probably still has everything rotten on the shelves.
Actually, we went to Whole Foods and the vegans have gone nuts, bro.
Really?
Yeah. Trader Joe's is even worse, yeah.
Well, the grass will be coming up soon. They should be fine. Just go out and trim your grass and they should be fine. Mr. TB9, all the gas around here is $1.67.9 regular.
Wow. Not here, apparently, according to my wife. I haven't been out much.
So, Mr. TB9, are you in Tennessee or Chicago? I forgot. We were talking about it both the other day.
I thought he was in Tennessee.
I thought maybe his parts needed to come from Chicago. Did you ever get your parts from that you need to fix your vehicle? I guess would be a good question to ask him because I do remember he was saying something like that the other day.
Tennessee.
Tennessee, okay.
Beautiful state. Absolutely gorgeous. I would love to live there.
You might if everything goes well.
Yeah. Lately it hasn't been though.
I honestly think that we just need to get back to farming and all that good stuff. So, I mean, obviously I do that, and that was the whole point of this channel, but we didn't have anybody watching when we talked about boring farm stuff. La la la, I don't want to go there. Watch for Warrior. It's cheap here too in Georgia. All right. So gas is cheap in Georgia and Tennessee and Kentucky and Indiana.
We need Hawaiian Volcano Squad on here and tell us what the gas prices are.
Well, he doesn't. He walks everywhere.
Yeah, well, that's because the gas prices are probably ridiculous on a normal basis. I'm in the hills, up and down, up and down. Yeah, you making the shine up in the Tennessee hills? He is a hillbilly then. Isn't that the definition?
No.
I think gardening is very important. I think maybe doing a more of a how to set up your first one. Is yeah, you're going to be talking to a lot of people who already know a lot about gardening, maybe. But I think your biggest audience right now, especially, would be brand new to gardening people. And I mean, you need to go down to the square foot garden and talk about companion planting and what the hell that even is and why it's beneficial. The thing with the flowers was very informational to me, to get the bees attracted to pollinate the rest of the crap. So
really, we just need to do like
Watch Warriors checking out. Got to run, friends. Have a good day. And as always, you make good day as you can make it. Yes, sir. You too. Godspeed, Semper Fi, brother. Stay frosty out there.
mm-hmm.
And if you get a hold of that tank, let me know. We may have some missions we can run.
Especially gas prices as low as they are, man. Fill her up.
Good morning, Bobby's Solar Homestead. How's Bobby doing this morning? Have you been out and about there, Bob? Let us know what you've seen. Give us your intel report this morning.
Mm-hmm. In South Carolina, I believe. So
South Kakalaki. That's what we called it whenever I was stationed out there. Scientists are now saying corona weapon is not a bioweapon. Yeah, okay. I believe that.
Tommy Boy 9 is going to go and get his government ID.
I'm got to go get a start so I can fly on planes. Yeah, that's the dumbest shit.
I ain't doing it, but I don't fly anyway. Just because I don't want to get felt up for the most part. It is very convenient to get someplace quick, but I don't know. I do enjoy the road trips. I enjoy seeing America. I always have. That's why I really enjoyed doing driving for Schneider cross country. That was a fun job. But yeah, I don't know. Plus, I usually when I travel with a lot of firepower.
Yeah. I don't
That's
go
kind of
anywhere.
hard to do. I mean, you can do it on planes, but it's not the easiest thing.
So you have to have it done by 2020? My license don't expire till after that, and I don't have that stupid star.
For me, it's optional still, and I'm not gonna do it even if it's not. I mean, so I don't get to fly. Oh well.
All right. Oh well, I gotta get a passport though. So I can be a jet setter, run back and forth to Ireland, see my brethren, my Scottish brothers, or passport, or you're not getting on. Big stacks. Got a passport instead of the star ID. Awesome. Yeah, I'll see. So is that you can use that to substitute? Anyone else think interesting that West Virginia was the last to even have a reported case? Well, nobody leaves West Virginia. Like, I mean, this. I mean, I'd be interested in knowing who exactly caught it. Was it a worker at a rest area at a gas station?
What's the last?
Because that would
getting reported cases every day.
They just barely had their first reported case in West Virginia.
Oh, so it's their first one.
Yeah.
I didn't want to either, but hell, I'm almost dead anyway. How the hell can you be dead? You got enough silver, you're stacking everything up, you can't die? Come on now.
Right, and if you do, man, get a hold of me. I could be in your will.
How's he gonna get a hold of you if he dies, damn it?
Right, yeah, I know.
Oh, Mr. T. They'll find him up in the cabin in the woods. Still clutching his scary AR-15 and probably shoot the shit out of him, even though he's petrified at that time from being sitting on the front porch for so long.
Right. Yeah, we're
So
trying to stay quarantined ourselves, but the wife has to run to the store every 5 minutes because she wants something different.
5 minutes? No.
Yeah, I know I'm over dramatizing that a little bit, but still, at least once a day. Yesterday, I made an exception because she wanted to make a special dinner because of the date, and I was like, fine, whatever.
I am self-quarantined now. I made my yesterday run to get your medicines, I think. Was that what you had to go into town for? Bobby's Solar Homestead. So I've been working on and off more off-grid lights. I have been one time in 2 weeks. We do
How's your toilet paper rolls?
in intel gathering runs. Not necessarily stop out and see anything, but we go out into the AO to check out what's going on. So we do an AO run at least once or twice a day for our area of operations, just to look around and see if there's new implementation of equipment, people, check the local and state police, the military bases, see if there's anything going on there. So just once a day, go out and do that. Don't have to get out of the car. Have our own gas tanks that we filled prior to the quarantine of day 5. So as far as lights go, Bobby, what do you put on motion detection lights or just constant on? Dude, we have loads of TP. Well, yeah, he's got a holster, baby. You can clean it out.
I was wondering if you were gonna bring it.
Oh, never, ever, ever leave the Bobby holster out. So y'all bring up long guns when you're up about the house. So y'all been
So does that mean do we take long guns when we go outside of our house, or when we're just around the house? We got our long guns with us all the time. I don't. I have my pistol. I have my new one that I won't show, but I really fancy.
Bobby,
And then,
that's an operational security measure you don't mention. But I assure you that there is some sharp pointy thing or hammer of God close to me.
yeah, I got a number of things at any given time, and it's not that far. My house is not that big.
So did anyone out there ever find out about the floating air supplier? I know we had a gentleman checked in that was PJ or something, and he said that a floating air supplier could act as a ventilator, but we didn't hear back from him, so I don't know if he's out there listening or watching. If you are, sir, go ahead and let us know information on that. Let's see. I have to feed the kitties. Sorry, I'm on the wife's phone. Says Bobby. What do you consider a long gun, Bobby?
I mean, I got a shot. Well, it's not a shotgun. I have a firearm chambered in 12 gauge. It's not a long gun, but it's pretty devastating. I got all sorts of things. Unfortunately, most people know all about it because I post all my shit on YouTube on a daily.
Yeah. Well, who the hell's gonna drive to the fucking desert to take it?
Yeah.
I mean, we can't afford the gas to get out there.
If nothing else, I have this. It's my long pokey stick. It's like a Civil War era thing. I think I can show this without getting taken off.
Sweet. So if you really have to use something in the field or around the house and you have to get shit done, you got to get the kukri, because you can lever off limbs, and I mean from a tree and from bodies. But anyways, Cold Steel Magnum kukri. If you watch for their sale in the springtime, you can purchase these for $8 to $10, and they're phenomenally awesome for clearing brush and limbs of both tree and people. Not that I've trimmed people's limbs off, but I mean, there's a country that does specifically use the kukri for such thing. Your AR and whatnot, just not your handguns. So I mean, that's personal preference. I mean, if you're doing work, you're not gonna want to carry that damn thing around.
Right.
So even if it's slung,
that's the whole reason to hold a pistol, isn't it? To get to your rifle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, ideally, yes, or you would have somebody doing Overwatch or Firewatch from a protected fighting position, so you wouldn't need to have your rifle. You could sit it down and dig the holes or whatever you're doing. But motion detector, solar powered lights, the DIY kind of things. Actually, Bobby, if the big box store still has them, the micro solar systems that I've been implementing at people's places and stuff, they're motion detected lights, but they're solar powered, and you could put them pretty much anywhere. But I don't have the name or whatever. Next time I buy one, I will send it to you. Really nice. Plus has the blood groove.
I was talking about that sword. I think that sword is it has a letter of authenticity. I don't know how true it is, but it says it's like a Civil War sword. So.
Did you buy it at a pawn shop?
No, my mom bought it for a Christmas present years ago for me. So I have no idea on if it's true or not. It's definitely not a Southern sword, but it does look pretty old.
So does anyone have any intel on that the government's actually going to take over food distribution? Anybody heard that? Apparently I have an article here, truckers facing coronavirus hurdles and keeping the food going. But I heard, and I don't remember where, and so there's so much information coming so fast, like it's hard to put it out there fast enough. I know people use the Twitter for it and stuff, but like I like to provide links.
Yeah.
That's the article about trucking. That's red linked at the Drudge Report. Supermarket superheroes. I guess people are starting to now follow you home or whatever after they figure out whatever you're doing. Trump invokes wartime authority. All right, let's see what that's about.
Yeah, you follow me home. That's the biggest mistake you ever fucking made.
Trump taps emergency power as virus relief plans proceed. Wartime president fighting an invisible enemy. And, of course, Associated Press, who I hate, have 1,000 pop-ups. Trump tapped his authority under the 70-year-old Defense Protection Act to give the government more power to steer production to private companies and try to overcome shortages in ventilators, masks, and supplies. Well, I'll post that article up as well. Be aware that there is pop-ups.
But if you have an ad blocker, but it'll probably not even let me watch the page with an ad blocker.
Mr. TB9 says it looks like original on that sword. Well, that'd be cool.
I think it is. I mean that's what it claims. It claims it's a Civil War sword. I don't know if it's a general or what, but
Oh yeah, getting back to that. I'm sorry.
it's fine.
I don't know if I covered this ad nauseum, but get the protein powder. Protein powder.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing.
Bodybuilding.com. What else? There's a couple other ones. Bodybuilding.com, GNC. A lot of people are not tapped into that yet. So if you know anybody that needs stuff that they may need to supplement their foods, I assure you, you want to get the best high quality multi-blend protein you can. One, because it fills you up. Two, you can have energy. Three, you might get healthier while dying of the zombie apocalypse.
Well,
But
funny enough, I have protein powder because I have been trying to get healthier.
and I know people are. If Jim ever wants to sponsor me, Jim Stepani, I'm the guy. I'm not the specimen cut out of granite, but I use your shit. Jim Stepani, he has what's called Jim, JYM, and he makes the most phenomenal. I just had for this morning for my breakfast was Jim S'mores protein powder, Pro Jim, PROJYM. He just came out with a new one that's like some kind of fancy swirl. Let's see here. Go back to the shelf here. They have a chocolate peanut butter one, a Rocky Road one,
Nice.
A banana cream pie one, a Tahitian vanilla bean, chocolate mousse, and the s'mores. So all great, excellent tasting. Let me bring one of these here to show you. It's a ultra premium protein blend. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So 4 pounds, 2 ounces. It contains 24 grams of protein because your body's supposed to take in 21 grams of protein per meal if you want to get strong. 7.5 grams of whey protein isolate, 7 grams of micellar casein, 7 grams of milk protein isolate, and 2.5 grams of egg white protein per scoop. So you have it in the morning, before and after meals, or between meals. That's I say, I guess, before and after workouts, and at nighttime before you go to bed if you want.
Right.
But this is a meal replacement. And the reason why I like Jim so much is because all the ingredients are non-proprietary blend. So he tells you everything, and all of his products is non-proprietary blend. And this is the guy. He's 56
fuck
years.
That dude.
He's 56 years old, bro. 56. So good. Seriously, check him out. JimStepani.com.
How many carbs are in there?
Carbers. Total carbohydrate 6 grams. One of which is dietary fiber, 1 gram.
Okay, so 5 grams complete of carbs. All right. Kind of high for me, but I'm on keto though, so anybody else, it's probably still really good.
I mean, the ingredients. Listen to this, right? So it has sea salt, peanut flour, natural flavors, sunflower, lecithin. It does have sucralose in it, so no sugars, so that's good. But I mean, coconut-based creamer. I have never tried this one. The peanut. This is basically like a Reese's cup. But every flavor I've tried, except for the banana cream pie, because I don't like bananas, it's been fantabulous. So if you go there to one of those websites now and you can get this stuff, you can supplement your food supplies and not have to worry about it. If you can't get eggs, there's your eggs.
The shelf life on that's great. And
yeah, I don't even know. I'm sure it's over a year. Let's see.
Oh, yeah, it is.
6/27/2021, and I bought this probably a year ago when it first came out.
So a couple of years.
So I buy it when it's like buy one get one half off at GNC or the Pro. They have the Pro days, so I get it from the whenever the Pro days are because you get more points. But usually they give you a buy one get one free or buy one get one half off or buy two get one free. So whenever they do those kinds of sales, that's when I stock up.
Bobby's saying that he knows the state governor. I know the state governor. Oh, dude, you got hookups like that, you should be golden, bro. He asked my cousin's trucking company to put all the trucks he can on the road 24/7. He runs wood chips to the paper mill. They're even giving okay from DOT to run overweight loads. My question to that would be, yeah, you're allowing them to run overweight. How about getting them off of the automatic log keepers? Because they have it now where it runs through your truck and you can't cheat the system. Like when I went,
I'm sure they're going to override that because that was one of the initiatives he was talking about.
Yeah, because when I went to drive for Schneider, right, they told you, oh, you got to keep your log books. You can only drive for 11 hours, and you got to keep real good numbers. You know, that's the school. They teach you that, right? But then when you actually get out on the road, there is an unwritten rule that you fudge that number as much as you can so you can run longer. Because eventually you have to shut down if you get to a certain amount of hours in a certain amount of time. And me and my wife were team driving. We had to shut down, and we caught some major hell from our supervisor because we were actually not fudging the books. So I know lately that's been a big thing where they're making it so you can't fudge the books at all, and it's really hurting the owner-operators and other drivers out there. So, I mean, with this whole thing, they should allow you to do paper books again, I guess. Sorry. Go ahead.
Carry on. They'll probably I heard they're going to suspend a lot of the regulations and rules, so because they cannot keep up. But we're not getting all the fruits and vegetables that we get from all over the world either. So I don't know what the hell they're going to be taking places. Obviously, the producers are still producing eggs, but the cartons are becoming a problem now because where do we get our cartons from? Everything plastic is not usually made in the United States. So Steve Quell and Mike Adams talk about coronavirus denial, financial collapse, and the opening salvo of World War III. Coronavirus collapse is here. Get ready. The U.S. unemployment rate has hit 20% or higher. From quarantine to tyranny to rebellion, where will be the line in the sand? Use TCM, protects the liver from damage, prevents lipid accumulation. So that's just something general. Not just for your gut, probiotics can destroy cancer cells and even prevent the spread. That's good to know.
Probiotics are great. We talked about that a little bit yesterday. I make my own sauerkraut, which is friggin' delicious. If you don't, I do have videos on it, but they're all private. So if you know me, and Bobby has already gotten to view that video, but if you know me and you want to know how to make your own homemade sauerkraut that is the bomb, hit me up. I'll give you the link to that video and you can watch it. It's like a 30-minute video, but it goes in detail on exactly measurements and how to make it and how long it takes to ferment and what I use anyway. Mr. Tommy Boy drove for ABF Freight Systems, and yes, you jiggle the times to run longer, but you have to watch your miles. Yeah, see, they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that. That's something you got to learn on your own or talk to other truckers about, right? And it still upsets me to this day. It's been years, right? It's been years, but it still upsets me to this day that they send us out there and then we get yelled at because nobody told us we were supposed to fudge the numbers. And I mean, it was Schneider's school. So you're the ones that told us to run our books like this. I mean, obviously they have to because of legal reasons, I guess, but they should have also by the way, you can fudge it a lot. sore subject. I kind of wish I could still drive, but at the same time, in this environment, I'm glad I don't. Yep, 2 logs. The one you show the DOT and the one you show your
boss.
your boss.
Sorry. I was over here verifying that quarantine day 4 was correctly edited and split, so I could make that public. So it only took 8 hours for that to process. Bastards. I did add a little music in the front, so be aware of that, so you don't have to hear me making coffee. All right, so we'll republish day 3. I'm sorry, day 4, and today we're on day 5 of quarantine. And by quarantine, I mean we're self-quarantining. We're not locked down yet. Tommy, you kept
Social
2 logs.
Go from being a social justice warrior to a social distance warrior.
There you go, SDW.
I distance myself anyways. I prefer to not go out. It's everybody else in my family that likes to go out. I prefer to stay here and do work. As sad as that sounds. Because if not, it compiles on top of each other, and then you get... I'm not saying I know the governor personally. Was saying that I told... Okay, good to go. Let's see. Alpine DZ13. Anyone here if COF Gov activated? I don't know what COF. I know what COG is. So further explanation on that, please, Alpine.
Well, Bobby, with local runs, you have to keep logs too. You have to keep a log no matter what. Local runs, though, is a little bit easier because you already know how many hours you're going to do basically every day. If you get caught in a traffic jam, you could technically go over your hours depending on how long your local run is.
So yeah, I do have a couple buddies that do trucking, and they will shut you down. Like you get like a 30-minute notice, and then your truck is no longer. If you don't pull over, you.
See, I was in it back when we actually kept paper logs. There was at the time some truckers that were using, digital that was hooked up to their truck, but it was not a big thing at the time. And I know Schneider didn't want to do that because obviously you're going to get shut down now on the computer and you can't fudge your numbers, and they will really want you to fudge them.
So no, if COG is called, that's why I didn't know what COF was. Yeah, if COG, if that goes down, all procedures for shit hitting the fan is here. They'll call out the National Guard to protect the cities, and that's supposed. I've heard that, but I'm not sure. I don't know where you're from, Alpine, but a lady from UPS from Kentucky the other day said that they gave everyone in the factory or the UPS shipping facility, they're going to give them letters so that they can go to and from work because they're supposed to implement martial law in Kentucky, and you will only be allowed in and out to go to work. And they're only shipping critical medical supplies. So if you have your 10,000 rolls of toilet paper in the mail from Amazon, then you will not get them because they're only shipping to obviously the government. But
so he lives in Colorado. So like Denver, yeah. If you live in Denver, obviously the city is the worst place to be. And I speak from experience because I live in Phoenix.
So I can't divulge too much information on this because it will. But within my extended area of operations, is a company that just got a super large order from the government. And I can tell you it's a food product, and the government, this company's only filling the government contract now. So they're no longer producing food for the normal person to stock the shelves with. But it's so extensive that they're working all 3 shifts. Well, they've actually went to 12-hour shifts, and it's specifically for the government. So I don't know if that's part of the continuity of government that's going to kick in, but if it does, then it's going to be a damn free-for-all everywhere except for the cities, which should be protected. Most major cities should be protected by the National Guard or the military. And then if you live in a rural area, it's going to be up to your sheriff's and police department, which are not going to do anything because they're going to go home and protect their families as well. Bobby says, yeah, I worked on trucks, but I have no clue how the driver works. The DOT is even escorting convoys of wood chips to the paper mill. Yeah, because they think they're going to start jacking stuff. Like, go ahead.
I say in round trip, it's only an hour and 35 minutes. If it's only an hour and 35-minute round trip, you're not doing that run once a day, bro. You're going to do that until you meet your 11-hour quota. They're not going to have you just, an hour and 35 minutes and you're done for the day. You're running all day long. They're going to run your ass.
Not Denver, thank God. So what's it look like out there in Colorado Alpine? Have you been to the store? Are you doing any AO, AI, or extended area of operation intel gathering? Mr. Tommy Boy 9, I read that and said, I'm puffing on a stick, checking my lung capacity, laugh out loud.
I wish I could smoke, dude. I miss smoking. I smoked for 20 years.
Bobby, so you've been out once in 2 weeks. When's the last time you went out? Is the wife going out? What's your AO look like? Do you have any intel to report from the South Kakalaki? Mr. TV9, he's in the hills of Tennessee, I believe. Is that right? And
his grocery store's in the woods.
Yeah. It's in his backyard. So I did hear that there was a run on the Walmart in Tennessee, which the place was a really backwoods place. So I'm surprised that I'm sure it's people from the big city came out there, but
yeah, once you drain the big city, then they go out for sure.
I mean, that report was from I think about an hour and a half away from either Nashville or Memphis, major city. So, how's everyone on coffee? How are we getting coffee?
Dude.
That comes from the mountain of Chiapas.
We just got our coffee shipment in yesterday, and the wife got some of this fancy flavored stuff, which she's whispering in my ear on how much she loves it. So I guess that means we're getting more of it.
Bobby looks like he's killing 2 coats today. Bobby, you shouldn't cut your coats up yet. You should keep the coats in case it gets cold again. Winter will come back.
Yeah, I mean, you got like with chickens, right? You can either eat them or you can get their eggs. I think getting their eggs is more productive than killing them and having a meal. Same thing with goats, I'm guessing. Yeah, goats, right? You can get their milk unless they're boy goats. And I guess you could kill those, but you can get a lot more milk than you can meat.
Walter Davis, I'm in New Jersey now and just went to the hardware store in town. The town was deserted, but the hardware store was busy. Of course. Great. So is there anything in particular you're looking for, or are you just out doing a survey of your local area, Walter? Mr. TV9. Yeah, hell with masks, get nails. As a matter of fact, I'm glad we're on that topic. Thanks for to Walter for that. Poison stinger. So I come to the realization last night the way you can protect your windows is get a roll of chicken wire. And you know the cup hooks that you buy from the Walmart or the big box hardware store?
Yeah.
You screw the cup hooks into the wall and make sure they're in a wood stud. And then you could hang the chicken wire from the inside all the and string it up, and then you can have protection from those big ass windows you have for people coming in, because chicken wire is a bitch to get through.
Right.
So,
yeah, I know that for sure.
I mean, then these are just like what these are last ditch effort, I guess.
I mean, layered protection, right? I think I
Right,
still
right.
want to get that shatterproof stuff, and then also maybe think about the chicken wire. The only problem with that is it's definitely going to have to be somewhat removable, because when my
Well, that's why I said use the.
in,
That's why I said use the hooks.
yeah,
The cup hooks, because you can leave the hooks in the wall. You can just string some lights around it, and the chicken wire is easily removable. It's not though. If you could always go back and bend the hooks over. If it does come down to a shelter-in-place situation where you want to have that extra security, but someone pulling on it or pushing on it is going to, all them hooks are going to stop it from coming out of the wall as long as they're in wood. I had to get plumbing stuff, Walter says, for a job.
Walter's over there laying pipe.
Okay. And Bobby's cutting up coats. Are they red coats, Bobby? Oh, Yankee Fours over here cutting up red coats.
All right.
Oh, shit. All right, so what else is going on in the world? Walter is... I went out to the woods and gathered up bees' nests to put them outside the house near the windows as a deterrent. Well, that's...
Oof.
I prefer the Corona bottle shoved in the ground with the back end broke off of it, but I don't I don't get stung by bees. That's also another when the world goes to shit, you need glass bottles. So yeah.
Yeah,
Why?
I ain't messing with no bees around here. All we got is killer bees, so this is just bad all the way around.
Oh wow! Did I? Okay, I was gonna say, what the hell happened there? All right, so
restaurants and bars shut down statewide. Grocery stores empty of eggs and baking goods. No paper products. Lots of fresh fruits and veggies. Yeah. Well, the vegans haven't gotten to your store apparently, because around us, all the organic vegetables, they're all gone. Family is tucked away now for the duration. Cool. Yeah, that's the hardest part for me is being stuck in the house, because I'm one of the people that like to get out. I don't have a big house. I don't have a lot of chores. So staying in the house is almost like staying in jail.
Roger that, Walter Davis. Yeah, I got that. I understand completely. Yeah, you got to worry about the puppies.
Yeah.
Definitely got to worry about the babies. I mean, you can implement that outside your fence line or something like that if need be. But yeah, I completely understand. Just throwing it out there in case shit gets hairy before we talk again. Supposedly, we're supposed to hear about this UPS lady that's going around telling everybody all this stuff. We're supposed to hear about it sometime this week, possibly. And it looks like Alpine may have heard something about the COG too. So continuity of government being implemented. So, and hell, you maybe you check the White House, see if there's anything on there. But I don't see anything popping up on any of my real news sources. So those guys that were selling the hand sanitizer that made $30,000 from Tennessee, they were forced to donate 17,000 bottles of hand sanitizer because of the price gouging scandal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right there, that's free market, man. Nobody forced them to pay that much money for hand sanitizer. Oh, I don't like that at all.
Agency warns offices in charge of conducting background checks will shut down. So it looks like you're not going to be able to get guns here pretty soon.
Wait, read that again.
Agency warns offices in charge of conducting the background checks could shut down. Second Amendment red alert. FBI could stop approving gun sales soon.
Wow.
French study finds that anti-malaria drugs chloroquine, butchered that, are highly effective against the coronavirus. So that's actually, since my order is already placed, I will tell everybody about that. It's actually produced from Artesma, which is a sweet wormwood. You can go buy seeds at johnnyseeds.com. So if you're not watching this, I'm not going to put it in the chat over here just so that people that are watching can go get them if you want. But it's sweet wormwood, and that's one of the ways to make medicinal weapon for fighting this crap. The U.S. government is preparing for a 18-month pandemic and critical shortages, which we know. Italy's lockdown will be extended, Prime Minister says, as death toll spikes. EU officials test positive for the coronavirus. What else?
All the governments get it.
Super rich paralyzed as private jet travel restricted.
Huh?
So they're calling for the martial law. I don't know. Let me check out this story here to see what the governments take advantage of the crisis by taking away freedoms. So this is off the David Knight show.
Don't allow it, folks. You allow them to take away your freedoms, you ain't getting it back. Let's look at the Patriot Bill and a few other examples.
So yeah, I mean that's the I can't even say the damn name on here because we'll get kicked off the friggin' internet because of what they've done to him. But I will post a link here. Hopefully it'll allow me to post it. I will preface this with believe whatever you want to believe out of what I'm about ready to show you, and I cannot confirm nor deny the actual, but you'll see as soon as I post it up where it's from and who it's from. So
take that
do your own research there. This gentleman has produced a lot of good information over the years, and God rest his soul, Kansas Hillbilly Prepper believed every bit of it.
Yeah. Wonder why that was.
I spent many a sleepless nights.
Mr. Tommy Boy is going to get a half ounce of gold today. Apparently his UPS is out for delivery, but now he's all pissed that he's got to get dressed. Dude, you've been listening to us naked. I don't know if I'm comfortable with that.
Now I have to babysit and have to have Hop sing when he shows up.
Yeah.
Hop
up? I don't know.
Oh, is that the rabbit movie? Maybe, I don't know. Hop is Matt. The anti-malaria drugs. Okay, so we'll post that there. Mr. TV9, still listening while I'm getting dressed and wait.
That's what I said. Is he listening to us naked?
I don't even want to think about that. be okay with getting dressed once in a while. All right, let's see. Trump invokes wartime authority, testing chaos across America. Merkel's biggest challenge since World War II. Rush for cash rattles the markets. Well, yeah, everybody's cleaning out. Let's run on the banks, right? Best case scenario is a vaccine in 12 to 18 months, and then lives go back to normal. Spring break stays lit. Virus doesn't stop partying.
Well, didn't they say yesterday that they had to like force people off the beach because they were like, I don't give a fuck, I'm partying, I'm 18 or whatever, and
yeah, they did. They were they were forcing them off. Younger adults comprise big portion of the hospitalizations. So originally they said this was not affecting younger people, but now they're saying it is. So.
Yeah. Well, I think they're just saying that so they might listen because they think they're invincible, and then they come back and they're worried about them infecting their grandparents or their parents. I don't know. It's not going to be fun if you get it if you're younger either. I mean, if you survive it, it's still going to suck ass. It's not something you're going to want to do and go through.
Well, that's an MSN article, so I'll post it up there. Let's see. Bobby is saying Byron would be making nonstop videos about this. Y'all know that, right? He'd be on the from 0 dark 30 till 0 a.m. 30 until he fell asleep with his oxygen on. Oh,
snoring on camera on a live feed.
Yeah, on a live feed. And we couldn't shut the shit off. We were just like, let's go on.
It was his live feed. At least back then you could mute the host. I don't think you could now using StreamYard.
All those dumb kids are going to get it. I was reading that alcohol makes it much easier to catch the virus. Ooh, I hope not.
Sleeping around with everybody on the beach.
Most of the young people with no symptoms, yep, for sure, they're definitely not taking it seriously. So, yeah. Let's see what's going on in the tubes. Non-ex-army worldwide lockdown is coming. Why they won't tell you. The prepared mind is prepping tips, and I see shit hitting the fan. Nothing fancy's checking out some new ammo flying off the shelves. Ammo-geddon. John Willis is from SOE Special Operations Equipment is posting up videos. Adam Calhoun has posted up A Cal Nation Episode 1, CDC Briefing Room. Last update was March 14th. Old Hickory is forging a wrapped axe from Railroad App. How to grow potatoes in 5-gallon buckets is a good one from Huss.
Oh, we learned.
And Nancy's home.
If you remember from one of our first gardening chats, we talked about how to make potatoes in a laundry basket. The wife's got great information on how to do that.
9 survival crops to grow in the post-apocalyptic world from Epic Gardening. President Trump's news conference from the White House. Is that live? Thought you were supposed to check on that there, B driver. What is this? Is there another? Oh, there's that.
Hey, how's it
prick.
going, guys? Like, he would just look at me and he would say, "We grow
11 a.m.
too old and too late smart." Now, what does that mean? Is that a criticism?
Is there a thing with the president right now?
He's supposed to be on 11 at Fox News, and that's out of Phoenix. Fox News 10 out of Phoenix. Says soon the president, but we'll go to whitehouse.gov or whitehouse.com or whatever. If you could do that on your side. I forgot about that. Says Bobby, Ricky Bobby. Okay, y'all.
I have the NBC News going on right now that's coming up, the White House briefing, but it's not on yet.
Yeah, I believe this is Cuomo, the guy's trying to steal everybody's freedoms.
There we go. Members, White House or the White House YouTube channel. All right. I'm on the White House YouTube channel, and
Okay.
the live stream is up. It's just right now. It's just saying the live stream is starting soon. So
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on that, and once it
All
goes,
right.
I'll...
Okay. So.
if I could turn the volume on with it, so that...
Yes, sir. I don't know how I've tried messing with that, and I cannot figure out a way to. How bad is it? It's bad. Trump shifts tone as pandemic worsens, crisis hits. This is at the top of my YouTube page. How? Let me share that. Screen share. YouTube. Let's see. All right, here we go.
I thought, Mr. Tommy Boy, I thought you said you already had enough silver. You're still looking for good prices? Did you see the link that I sent with Scottsdale Mint? Because that's the best one I've found recently.
You can't ever have enough silver. Come on now.
I mean, if you got that kind of money, bro, I guess. But I wish I had that kind of money.
What's that duck that swims through his gold coin collection? McDuck, Donald McDuck, or
Scrooge McDuck?
Is that who it is? Remember the cartoon? Like he would jump into a safe and swim through the gold coins?
Yeah,
that's Mr. TV9. His swimming pool's filled full of
DuckTales, bro. Fucking DuckTales. I love that show as a kid. And the wife knows the lyrics.
DuckTales.
Yeah.
All right, Phoenix 10 is broadcasting. I don't see. Is the White House taken down? Because the channel is not.
No, it should be fine.
I don't see.
You might want to put channel in there, but yeah.
Well, it usually pops up when you.
Well, I mean, there's so many terms with White House.
Oh, which I found out in school. I searched the WhiteHouse.com. Holy mother of God.
Yeah.
Back then, it was a porn place. First time I ever got to use the computer in the and I searched WhiteHouse.com to do a report, and the first thing that pops up and starts going, I, and I'm sitting in a room full of people, and it was fantabulous.
I would love that.
Probably the only time that I've been embarrassed in my life.
I was heavy into the porn. I'd have been like, yeah, that's all right. Everybody check this out.
Well, I was mainly sitting in a group of females, and the librarian was also a female. So, yeah, 17 and looking at WhiteHouse.com was not the way to go. I did not understand, nor did I know that it was White House.
Too much shit, though. I mean, it was an honest mistake. That was before they blocked all those kind of sites, I guess, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. They didn't even know that stuff existed. Essentially, the school was not prepared for that. I mean, that was the early '90s when you could just get a GIF.
Oh, that was back when we thought the internet was going to be this great moral thing. Not the porn, the free pornography is turned into today. Oh. Mr. Tommy Boy says, I've been cleaning and getting my wife's paperwork together for her DL driver's license. She just turned 70. Ooh. Happy birthday to Mrs. Tommy Boy 9. There's my link again for the Scottsdale Mint. If you click on that, you'll see the silver bars at pretty good prices. Mr. Tommy Boy says 2 proofs of residency, social security card, and birth certificate. Wow, that's a lot. What is that for? Your driver's license?
That's probably to get the secured one, right?
Yeah. Screw that, dude. I mean, how much flying are you going to do, Mr. Tommy Boy 9? You know, I don't know. If it's not mandatory, I ain't doing it. If it is mandatory, I'm going to try to weasel my way around doing it. I'll probably just get the
my boy, my man. So Walter Davis says, was it Clinton? Talking about the WhiteHouse.gov .com, and Alpine D's 13 says, laugh out loud, could have been live feed from the Oval Office. There was no cigars being placed in anyone's hoo-ha.
That would have been funny if at least was in cosplay, or costume of that. That'd be
Yeah,
funny.
well, I don't think they were doing that at the time, but that would have been hellaciously funny. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get to see a whole lot because as soon as the sound came on and there, we didn't have headphones, so we were a poor school. Yeah, so I immediately started pressing buttons like I don't know what's going
Backspace, delete,
on.
escape.
No, and that's not
Everything
something you
took
want to watch
forever
in a
back
room
then
full of.
too.
It's not something you want to watch in a room full of people, anyways. I mean, shit. We didn't have internet at home, so it's not like I could watch at home. So that was my first exposure to something like that. So, all right, we're
No flying, but who knows if I hit big money, I'll find a bunker in New Zealand. Hey, Hawaii Volcano Squad. Did a trip to Walmart yesterday. The canned food aisle was empty except for 2 miniature cans of cream corn. Yeah, because nobody likes cream corn except for me. I freaking love cream corn. I grew up on cream corn. My wife hates it.
It's disgusting.
Yeah. We were talking about gas prices and how it's getting under $2 a gallon, maybe even going to hit $1 a gallon. And then I brought up the fact that it's probably still really expensive in Hawaii. So you can weigh in on what gas prices are on the island right now. Other than that, and what else is at Walmart? I mean, boy, I would imagine. Oh, no, can't be showing that.
show what
I saw that.
you saw a butt stock. You didn't see anything else. That's not illegal.
I saw the lower and the upper. I just
No,
didn't
you
see
saw
the
the butt
barrel.
stock, bruh. That's
Don't
the
tell me
butt
what I
stock.
saw. I know what I saw.
That's the butt stock. So my panic buying consisted of batteries.
Yeah. Those
um,
things are expensive. Are they still like?
$29 for 16.
Yeah.
I have to. I almost messed up and said this in front of the wife the other day. She's like, "Why do you need more batteries?" And I said, I kept my buddy was here, and I was like, well, shit, I only had 2 packs of rechargeable.
The ones
He's
that
like,
can recharge if they go dead.
yeah. He's like, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
All right, so the reason I don't know how much of this I can show, so I wanted to go out and grab this,
Go ahead
but
and show it.
the reason why I needed was for that.
There you go.
So that's what I was telling you about yesterday.
Yeah, and that's what I want to get my hands on with my $1,000.
Your $1,000 check.
Yep.
So there's your answer, Bobby. That's what I bring to work every day. Anybody that works for me is allowed to bring their rifle to work. No flying, but who knows? If I hit big money, I'll find a bunker in New Zealand. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I would just stay in the damn mountains of Tennessee, Mr. TV9.
Hell yeah, man. You guys Tennesseans been going to the woods for hundreds of years during shit hit the fan moments, man. It's like exactly what that's for.
Buy yourself a mountainside and get somebody to drill you a cave home, and you'll be good for life. Did a trip to Walmart yesterday. The canned food aisle was empty except for 2 miniature cans of cream corn. Yeah, there's cream corn. Nobody got that. That was prevalent at our store too. I don't like cream corn, so I didn't get it.
See what I tell you. Nobody likes cream corn. That's why it's on the shelf.
Mr. TV9 said he had.
I would be the one going to get the cream corn.
Mr. TV9, I had cream corn last night with my chicken and potatoes. I've had cream corn, but my grandmother used to make it, and it's just not the same out of a can. So I haven't eaten it since my grandmother passed away. It's like it tastes. I had it one time, I think, afterwards, and this was like last year before last, and it just tasted like they didn't mix up the cornstarch in it or something. I don't know. It was just disgusting. I won't eat it. Smallest cans I ever saw, $3 a gallon of gas right now. Alpine says, I saw gas $1.98 this weekend. It's $1.64 currently in Indiana and Kentucky. I want to be more with smart. I want to be more with smart people and not a bunch of toothless hillbillies. Well, shit, you can import people if you win the lottery.
Right.
I mean, I would rather be by toothless hillbillies that know how to make stuff and
They're pretty ingenious on how to get shit done. I mean, they can make
Yeah.
moonshine out of a fucking boot with a string.
I mean, I honestly, Mr. TB9, we have we're moving toward Tennessee. I'm on a 5-year plan to be there, and I just want to be around people that are self-sufficient, whether it be growing your own food. I don't have to worry about that stuff. I just hope the old ways don't die out. So that's why this channel was about farming and stuff like that. I'm from Michigan. Yankee? Is he talking about Yankee 4?
Oh, he's talking to Yankee, but yeah, he's originally from Michigan, but he's living in Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, we're moving to Tennessee.
If I can move to Tennessee, I'm right there with you. And I know a few other people that we talk to a lot that are wanting to go to Tennessee. And as I said, it is a beautiful state, and you can get lost in the woods. Smart people aren't so smart in a lot of areas. Smart people don't know how to do a lot of the things that hillbillies know how to do. So, I mean, it depends on what kind of smart you want to be around, right? Do you want to be around book smart, street smart, or hill smart? I'll tell you right now, hillbillies ain't going to go hungry at all.
And you don't have to worry about anybody getting near your property because they'll shoot them from a mile away.
Yeah. Those are the people you want to be around when the government's rolling through, because they ain't going to have the government rolling through their hood. Yeah. Hawaii Volcano Squad, they were out of TP, hand sanitizer, canned anything. Yeah, that's pretty much what it's around all the way around. I did find a little stockpile of hand sanitizer we bought a while back from Bath and Body Works. The wife and the daughter had purchased long ago and never used. So now we get to use it. It's all berry flavored smelling and got glitter in it, but
it's funny you say that, because I walked in here yesterday and I too found some green apple Germex that had been sitting on the water heater. And you know what I've been using this for? To start fires.
There you go.
Squirt it in the wood burning stove. And I have 0.20 ounces left, and we will sell it for $99.95 right now for the first buyer that sends it to my PayPal. We'll give you what's left in here. That little bit.
Davis, the White House, Walter Davis says, the house I was working on yesterday was very expensive, inhabited by very educated, useless eaters with expensive cars. If that ain't... Well, the coronavirus is taking out Irish over here.
I got choked up because I was thinking yesterday that's what HDP was saying in his live chat. He's like, these rich motherfuckers are buying black cars and leaving their air conditioning running the whole time that they're driving these black cars. But you can tell when you go from the rich neighborhood to the middle to lower class neighborhood that they're not driving black cars because they don't want to have, the air conditioning won't keep it cool.
Yeah. And I mean, I know this from experience because I live in Phoenix, right? It's hot here as it is there, if not hotter. And, I made that mistake as a kid. I always wanted a black car because I thought they were cool. They are not cool. They are hot as hell. So, like, one of the biggest colors around Phoenix for vehicles is white. And there's a reason for that.
Plenty of local Kona coffee brands. The bad, cheap instant coffee was wiped out.
Yeah, that's what people can afford normally. Mr. TV9. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
He's saying, I'm northern, and everyone asks you if I'm from Wisconsin. I lived in Wisconsin for 10 years. Not really looking forward to ever going back there.
You weren't a cheesehead?
Well, I mean, I enjoyed watching the Packers. I mean, I liked football at the time, right? So you got to watch whatever's on. But I never grew up liking the Packers. I actually didn't like the Packers at all originally. And then they kind of grow on you when you're living in that area, I guess. But I don't watch football at all anymore for reasons. Hawaii Volcano Squad. Plenty of bread, sweet bread from local baker. Really? That's cool. No, we don't have bread around here except for keto bread, which is fine by me because that's what I eat. And Mr. Tommy Boy 9, everyone around here, hey, y'all. The nicest people you'll ever meet are in the southern states, though, man. You try to find a nice person in Michigan. I dare you. Excuse me. Plenty of the local coffee brands. You know what? We buy our coffee online for the most part.
Yep.
I don't even bother with the other stuff, and they're still delivering. So if you need coffee and there's nothing local, try online. I mean, you gotta get it all sanitary before you open it, but. Funny, I don't even know who that is. Unless they were on earlier.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. I don't know. That's something you sent me, so I was verifying. All right, so let's check back through the news, see if there's anything new posted. Younger posted that link up earlier. So if you're young, keep your nasty ass at home so you don't. Thousands of cruise ship passengers allowed to deboard from without being screened, even though former passenger tested positive for coronavirus. Preppers weren't overreacting. Americans were taken by surprise because they didn't take the coronavirus seriously.
Yeah.
You will soon come to realize that I've just been describing the best case scenario for coronavirus. Check out the medieval scenario for the real projections. Yeah, so let's talk about that. Preppers weren't overreacting. Well, I was taking care of you and your family overreacting.
Because people want to call other people crazy for thinking the world's going to end and that you should just trust in the government and the system because it's never going to go bad. Nothing bad ever going to happen. So you're just crazy for even thinking of it.
I'm interested to see what the hell this president's going
to. Yeah.
Oh, so did I tell you that McCarthy ripped my... I was so pissed. I've been sending back and forth to this bitch, and she's like, well, it doesn't say blah, 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 blah. I said, it does say because I have pictures of it because thank God I screenshotted the stuff. Wow, people are just douchey.
Yep.
Oh, man. Yeah, so, like, that was interesting. Everybody's not talking.
Sorry, I was on a different page there for a moment.
Yeah, people just, like, you hate selling stuff because people ask dumb ass questions. Oh, pictures of something, and you don't know what it is because you didn't go through the 12 pictures. That question?
You're breaking up on me there a little bit. Probably because I'm doing too much on my internet.
I said if I post 12 pictures of an item that I have for sale, and the description says what it is, and you ask dumbass questions, should I answer them? No, I'm serious. Should I answer the questions?
Depends on the question, I guess.
What is this?
Read the description. Yeah.
Yeah. People are crazy.
You know.
So we're gonna kick off the White House thing, or is just gonna be another four-hour event that we have to wait? Because he was
Yeah, I
supposed
don't
to
know.
come
It's
on
just
at
sitting there, huh?
11. He's 15 minutes late. So I mean, I really want to know because where he kicks off martial law, this is where you know this is where stuff changes, and we have to implement different protocols and procedures throughout.
Yeah. Depending on what you prepped and what you have available and who you know will depend on what you do, I suppose. Because I think, it's a very big possibility that we're going to go medical martial law. If that happens, I know I'm screwed. I had a system in hand that I cut off my nose to spite my face for. So I don't have that no more. So now I have to deal with what I put myself into. But hopefully other people, if you got a place to go and you prepared for this kind of a thing, you have options. I did not know that Hawaii made its own coffee, but I guess I'm not horribly surprised. Hawaii Volcano Squad says they'll never run out of local coffee, so apparently they grow it there. That's kind of cool. That Hawaiian blend, does that mean it's pineapple flavor? But yeah, this would be the time to be out of the cities. Have a place that's off grid that not too many people know about. Have your defense systems, your gardening, have all those things set up. Those people that have all that are going to do okay. I think Irish, you're going to do all right.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I will never think that I'm fully prepared,
Right.
and I could live in a friggin' missile silo. You know what I'm saying? You can. I mean, because once you really get into preparedness, what can are you really there? No, you can't, because you can't prepare for anything. The only thing you can do is remain calm and keep pushing on, and don't take advantage of others, and do not take my kindness for weakness.
Right. I would suggest that anybody, once this is over, you really start planning for the next one, because this happens every few years, and I think it's starting to happen more and more. And this is something that you should be doing with your preps. A lot of people prep for other things. I don't know how many people, in the prepping community would prep for this. Probably quite a few. But it's time to start if you haven't already. And next time around, don't be caught with your pants down.
Well, Walter Davis got a text. My mother got herself tested for the corona and came up negative. I guess she's pretty worried. Well, pray to God she doesn't get it. Thank God she doesn't have it. I mean, that's good news. A nurse or something, Walter? Or she live in a long-term care facility or assisted living or something? Says very true, Stinger. Every 2 years out of China, something else worse. Well, I mean, we need to take our farming back into our own hands and crap in your body. And since we're on that, go get seeds now. Go get anything from the garden farm section that you may need, you think you may need. Do that now before the people that don't have the know-how or will to get the gardening stuff. Go
Yeah,
get
you
it
don't want to
now.
have to. You don't have to
No,
rely
just
on the store. So.
well, you don't want to have to rely on the government truck to bring you your food in a continuity of government martial law situation.
Learn how to can. That's something that I did that I'm glad I did. I have a pressure canner now, like a really nice one. Because I never do anything half-assed. But I have a really nice pressure canner. I don't use it nearly as much as I should, especially since I moved back to the city. But learn how to farm, grow your own food, so you're not relying on the government. And then also can that food. Anything that you have extra that you don't need, and you'll have extra if you do well on the growing the garden.
Yeah, you can Earth News. You can go search for a solar dehydrator. The plans are there free. You can build a solar dehydrator. I mean, you can make it pretty much if you have sticks. You can make one. You can dry it in a car on baking sheets and screen during the summertime because it gets hot enough in your car to heat it up and dry it. If you have an extra car, if you have old doors or old windows, you can use those as well. It's like a cold frame thing, but you have to make sure it's not in compound. Mother Earth News is where you want to go. Print these articles off now in case we do lose internet or access to the internet.
Yeah, start off small. As I was telling Irish, I think it would be imperative to do how to start. Small square foot gardens, victory gardens, whatever you want to call it, but go over it. Like, why? Why do you put this next to that and the companion gardening thing, and really explain the small nuances, because that's where you got to start, man. You can't start with just like, oh, I got a half an acre. I can go ahead and plant my whole garden, and you just go out there and plant and nothing grows. It's not as easy as putting a seed in the ground and adding water. There's a whole bunch to it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go buy, like if you were to go right now and buy 50 bags of top, 20 bags of manure, and seeds for the vegetables and stuff that you like to eat, you could roll those bags out, split them, put your manure in, mix the manure in with the soil, and then plant directly into those bags, provided that you perforated the bottom and the top of the bag. And you would have a fairly decent growing season right now, as long as you kept them watered. You could also incorporate a mulch into that or a straw. Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, sorry. Mulch. Let's see. I should call Bloomberg. He seems to know about farming. Yeah, he just is done, right?
It's not that easy. I've tried it. I've failed at it many years.
I did Little Girl, a book that might help. A link to that yesterday or day before. I know you don't read book. Medical martial law has now begun in the United States 39 minutes ago, but I don't know how. You have any proof? I'm looking for that, but I'm not seeing anything.
Right.
I don't see where it's been declared, or even we're still on the White House website waiting for this to kick off.
I mean, the worst that's going on right now is that, they're advising companies to shut down. And that's going to be really bad for like local, small town or small businesses. And then I know there's some places that are installing curfews. That's pretty much martial law-ish.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
No. It's easy. Yes, Walter, it's super easy. He still does it, right?
Yeah.
If you ever sell dang condo, I will buy property on volcano and rich soil and space to plant crops. Like I was saying the other day, do the HVS, do the seed pods that I make. Recently on them, but I'm going to do one this year. Basically, you can go out and get the soil from your area because it sounds like it's pretty fertile. Go out and get a couple bags of soil, some Walmart bags or whatever. Bring them back to your house. And some old pie tins, or not pie tins, but muffin tins. Put the dirt in there, moisten it, put your thumb in there and make like a hollow muffin. Sprinkle seeds in there, whether you use medicinal flowers, whatever you want to put in there. And then while they're still moist, make them into balls. Now, go back out to that place that you're talking about and throw those seeds out, and you have them to start growing, even if you don't live there. You'll know where the stuff is if you need to go get it. So hiking trails, walking paths that don't get mowed, or do it at least far enough off the walking path that it won't be, and then you'll know where you can go to get stuff because you planted it with your seed bombs. The worst now is my silver is $12 an ounce.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. I mean, paper silver is worth
Or lower.
$12 an ounce, but you try to get that price from anybody. I mean, maybe if you took it to a coin store right now, they might try to talk you if that's the silver price. But I mean, you're a dumbass if you do it. You put that stuff on eBay or anywhere else, or sell it to somebody local on Let's Go. You can get a lot more than $12 an ounce for that. I mean, a lot of the stores out there are charging $20 for an American Silver Eagle. So I mean, that's what, an $8 premium on it. A lot of silver places that have silver are charging that kind of a premium right now. You're fine, dude. It's worth a lot more than $12.
So how many minutes behind before they tell us we're going to go into medical martial law now? 27 minutes behind schedule. I always hate waiting on this because you never know what they're going to say.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to come when he comes on that for sure. What's your opinion, guys, on how he's handling it as far as a president? I mean, I haven't been a fan of a president for a long time. I was a fan of his originally, mostly because Kansas Hillbilly Prepper convinced me that I should like him. I even went to one of his rallies that were here in Phoenix and bought me a hat and everything. But since then, he came out with the whole we should take guns first and then, due process second. That right there was pretty much strike 1, 2, and 3. But then he doubled down on that and pissed me off even more in other ways. So I'm done with him. I think Kansas Hillbilly Prepper would really be upset about a lot of that too. He took away legally owned bump stocks, and anybody who has a bump stock now is a felon. I think that's it looks like they're on live now. So I'll mute it for now, but we'll go to that as soon as it comes around. So yeah, let's talk about that. Something that was legal to buy one day, and the next day you're a felon if you don't destroy it or turn it in to be destroyed. No compensation whatsoever. I'm against that. I don't care what it is. I'm against that. I mean, we haven't seen this much kind of anti-gun bills with even Obama. Obama was a better gun-friendly president than Trump. And he wants red flag laws, right? So
yeah,
if you don't like red flag laws, you shouldn't be supporting Trump. Now, he supposedly walked that back recently. I don't know about how much I believe in that because it is an election year. But he's said it multiple times that he believes in red flag laws. So, you know, if other people say it, like the governor in Virginia, right? Oh, we hate that. We hate that guy, Blackface Norton, right? He's for red flag laws, but we're okay with Trump because he's on our side, or he's playing some 4D chess. Dude is a Democrat from from New York all his fucking life, and then decides to run on the Republican ticket. Y'all being taken for a fool if you believe Trump is our Lord and Savior. But that's my rant on that. Mr. TB9, I'm already bent over. When's it coming? I don't know, but I'd grab some lube if you're going to take it up the ass, bro.
The big green weenie.
Volcano Squad's got lots of seeds. He's ready to go as soon as he gets a new property. Stock market is in the positive. What happened is more people are dying. You know, that goes up and down so much. I wouldn't put any money into the stock market personally, but.
Well, is it blurry on yours? Just mine.
Just on yours, bro. Well, yeah, what I'm seeing on your screen is blurry as hell. It could be
How about now?
a live stream of a live stream.
There's a live stream of your live stream on my live stream.
Yeah. And it'll be the audio of my live stream.
Uh-huh. So no mouse or anything will be remotely closing synced. Stand closer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're breaking the 5-foot rule, 10-foot rule.
Who's that, AOC right there or some shit? I don't even know.
No. That's probably the press secretary lady.
Yeah, I would doubt that she'd be on there, I suppose. You're going to have to go over with me later off air on the stuff you just sent me, bro. And that's all I'll say about that. But as far as other channels that are covering this with live streams out there, be careful who you watch. Ask yourself a simple question. Are they trying to profit off of the scariness of this, or are they actually trying to teach you how to survive? Okay, here he comes, so I guess I'll unmute.
Thank you very much. I think it's going to be a very important conference, and I'll get to that toward the middle, but I have a few things to report, and want to thank you all for being here. And I have to say, I think with social distancing, that the media's been much nicer. I don't know what it is, all these empty, these in-between chairs. You probably shouldn't have anybody sitting behind you either. You should probably go back, but I love it. It's so much nicer, but I shouldn't say that because you'll get me now. Thank you all for being here. And we continue our relentless effort to defeat the Chinese virus. Before I begin, I want to start by announcing
The
that
Kung Flu.
today we are bringing home another American citizen. It's a big thing, very big. Omar Fakouri is on his way back to the United States after being imprisoned in Lebanon since September of 2019. He's battling late-stage cancer. Mr. Fakouri will now be able to receive the much-needed care and treatment in the United States. We've been working very hard to get him freed, and he's finally able to have his entire family at his side. So I'm very grateful to the Lebanese government. They work with us, and we are very proud of his family. They stood by him so strongly, and they are thrilled. The United States has no higher priority than the safety and well-being of our citizens. We've gotten a tremendous number of hostages out, as you know. I think we're 42-0, and Robert O'Brien, as you know, was our chief negotiator for a large part of it. In fact, did so well that now we have him in a different position. So I want to thank and congratulate Robert and his team, and I want to let everyone know that recovering Americans held captive and imprisoned abroad continues to be a top priority for my administration. We have one young gentleman, Austin Tice, and we're working very hard with Syria to get him out. We hope the Syrian government will do that. We are counting on them to do that. We've written a letter just recently. He's been there for a long time and was captured long ago. Austin Tice, his mother's probably watching, and she's a great lady. And we're doing the best we can. So Syria, please work with us. And we would appreciate you letting him out. If you think about what we've done, we've gotten rid of the ISIS caliphate in Syria. We've done a lot for Syria. We have to see if they're going to do this. So it would be very much appreciated if they would let Austin Tice out immediately. As you know, my administration is working every day to protect American people and the American economy from the virus. Yesterday, I signed into law a critical support for American workers, families, and small businesses. It's a big thing. We're providing sick leave and family medical leave to those affected by the virus, and more help is on the way as we speak. Our entire team, headed by Secretary Mnuchin, is on the Hill. We're working with Democrats and Republicans, and there's a lot of goodwill going on. This was something that happened that was, some people would say an act of God. I don't view it as an act of God. I would view it as something that just surprised the whole world. And if people would have known about it, it could have been stopped in place. It could have been stopped right where it came from, China. If we would have known about it, if they would have known about it. But now the whole world almost is inflicted with this horrible virus, and it's too bad. It's too bad because we never had an economy as good as the economy we had just a few weeks ago. But we'll be back, and I actually think we'll be back stronger than ever before because we learned a lot during this period of time. I also just invoked the Defense Production Act to help facilitate distribution of essential supplies if necessary. We're working with Congress to provide major additional relief to the workers, small businesses, and the hardest hit industries. We want to make sure that everybody is able to continue on so that when we recover, all of these companies and these great businesses, both very, very small and very, very large, are not going to be broken up and you'd have to put them back together. That would take a long time because we really believe in, I believe in the V curve. I believe it's going to go, when this is defeated, this hidden scourge is defeated, I think we're going to go up very rapidly, our economy, and get back to where it was and beyond. Today, I want to share with you exciting progress that the FDA is making with the private sector as we slash red tape like nobody has ever done it before. Somebody was on yesterday on one of the networks and said that there's never been a president even close that's been able to do what I've done in slashing all of the red tape and everything to get very important things to the market, medical. So we slashed red tape to develop vaccines and therapies as fast as it can possibly be done, long before anybody else was even thinking about doing this. And as you know, earlier this week, we began the first clinical trial of a vaccine candidate for the virus, and it was launched in record time. It was just a few weeks, and that would have taken years to do, not so long ago. As we race to develop a vaccine, we're also pursuing antiviral therapies, and that's what really we're going to be talking to you about today. That's the purpose of being up here today. And to me, that's even more important. The vaccine, by its nature, you have to have long tests because you have to make sure what goes into somebody's body is not going to do destruction, do bad things. So you need long tests. And they're doing great with the vaccines. but it's still a long process. But the therapies are something we can move on much faster potentially. And the treatments that will be able to reduce the severity and duration of the symptoms, make people better. Essentially, we're looking at things to make people better, or at the very earliest stages, they wouldn't even know they had it. And that's where I believe it's going to work even the best. The FDA Commissioner, Stephen Hahn, who's with us, he's fantastic. And he has been working 24 hours a day. He's been he's worked like probably as hard or harder than anybody in the group, other than maybe Mike Pence or me. And what the FDA is doing is incredible. They've done things in times that were not even thinkable. And I've directed the FDA to eliminate outdated rules and bureaucracy, so this work can proceed rapidly, quickly, and fast. And we have to remove every barrier. There are a lot of barriers that were unnecessary. And they've done that to get the rapid deployment of safe, effective treatments. And we think we have some good answers. We'll find out very, very soon. Clinical trials are already underway for many new therapies, and we're working on scaling these to allow many more Americans to access different drugs that have shown really good promise. We've had some really good promise. We will do so in a way that lets us continue to collect good data to know which medicines are safe and which medicines are working the best. We have a couple that we're in really good shape on. And that's for immediate delivery. Immediate, like as fast as we can get it. The FDA has also approved compassionate use for a significant number of patients. You know what that means. We're also reviewing drugs that are approved abroad or drugs approved here for other uses. And you know, one of the things that I'm most proud of that I got was right to try. That's where somebody who's ill, somebody who's very sick, terminally ill usually. In past administrations, we signed this a year and a half ago. You wouldn't be able to even think about getting any of the drugs that may be showing great promise now. And they've been trying for many decades to get this approved. And it sounds simple, but it's not, because there's liability involved and lots of other things. And I was able to get it approved working with Congress, right to try. This is beyond right to try. What we're talking about today is beyond right to try. Right to try has been, by the way, a tremendous success. People are living now that had no chance of living. Where we take treatments that would, things that would have to go through years of a process. And if somebody was terminally ill, and I would say, why wouldn't they be able to try this? They'd go to Asia, they'd go to Europe, they'd go all over the world to try and find something. Or some people, if they had no money, would go home to die. They'd go home to die. They had no hope.
I do agree with that
Right
one,
to try
and
has
I'm
been
glad you did that,
incredible.
but
Success. But this is beyond right to try. If treatments known to be safe in Europe, Japan, or other nations are effective against the virus, we'll use that information to protect the health and safety of American people. Nothing will stand in our way as we pursue any avenue to find what best works against this horrible virus. Now, a drug called chloroquine, and some people would add to it hydroxychloroquine. So chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine. Now, this is a common malaria
Which is sweet
drug.
wormwood.
It's also a drug
Go
used
get
for
sweet wormwood, because you're
small
going to manufacture
arthritis.
this shit in the
It
United
is
States now, so
pretty
you'll be
serious
making money if you
arthritis.
farm this stuff.
Also uses this in a somewhat different form. But it is known as a malaria drug, and it's been around for a long time, and it's very powerful. But the nice part is it's been around for a long time. So we know that if things don't go as planned, it's not going to kill anybody. when you go with a brand new drug, you don't know that that's going to happen. You have to see and you have to go long test. But this has been used in different forms, very powerful drug in different forms. And it's shown very encouraging, very, very encouraging early results. And we're going to be able to make that drug available almost immediately. And that's where the FDA has been so great. They've gone through the approval process. It's been approved. And they did it, they took it down from many, many months to immediate. So we're going to be able to make that drug available by prescription or states. I spoke with Governor Cuomo about it at great length last night. And he wants to be right on he wants to be first on the line. And so I think that's there's tremendous promise based on the results and other tests. There's tremendous promise. And normally the FDA would take a long time to approve something like that. And it was approved very, very quickly, and it's now approved by prescription. Individual states will handle it. They can handle it. Doctors will handle it. And I think it's going to be great. Then we're quickly studying this drug, and while we're continuing to study it, but the studying is going to be also done as it's given out to large groups of people, perhaps in New York and other places. We'll study it there. There are promising therapies produced by Gilead, and that's remdesivir, and that's a drug used for other purposes that's been out, and it's a very good results for other purposes, but it seems to have a very good result having to do with this virus. And that drug also has been approved, or very close to approved in that case, by the FDA. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate what the FDA, these people are incredible patriots, and the job that Stephen Hahn is doing, Dr. Hahn, is one of the most respected doctors in the country, by the way. Where we took him, I said, "You sure you want to do this?" Now, we didn't know that this was going to be in the playlist, what happened here, but he really has stepped up to the plate. Wherever you are, where is he? Really, I'd shake his hand, but I'm not supposed to do it. Get in a lot of trouble if I did that. But he's been fantastic, and I thank you, Doctor. He's going to speak right after I'm finished. So, Regeneron again, is a company that's done fantastically well, as I understand, with Ebola and some other things. Great company, and they're looking at some very promising events also. So you have remdesivir, and you have chloroquine and hydroxychloroquine. So those are two that are out now, essentially approved for prescribed use. And I think it's going to be very exciting. I think it could be a game changer, and maybe not. But I think it could be, based on what I see, it could be a game changer. Very powerful. They're very powerful. So I want every American to know that we're doing everything we can. And these actions are important next steps. I mean, for the FDA to act the way they acted with this kind of speed is an incredible thing. Normally they'd say, well, we can have it by next year, or we can have it in 2 years from now. You understand, this is the way. Normally it's like years and years and years. They had it immediately, based on the fact that it's been used for other things, totally unrelated things. We believe these therapeutics and others under evaluation right now will be able to provide relief to many Americans. We really hope that's going to be. This could be a tremendous breakthrough. And we will work toward a much needed vaccine in the future, as I said. And what we're doing with the FDA is so exciting in so many other fields. So many things are happening. It's a very exciting time for medicine. And we appreciate that the American public has pulled together. They're really staying home. And I think there's tremendous spirit in this country right now. Spirit like a lot of people have not seen. People have not seen anything like it for a long time. And that means Democrat, Republican, they're pulling together. I hope everything's going good on the Hill. Maybe I shouldn't say this until I check out what's going on, because you never know. But I think there's a great spirit where the Democrats, the Republicans, and everybody else are getting together and they're trying to get things done. But most importantly, the American public has been incredible. We took the best economy we've ever had and we said, stop, you can't work. You have to stay home. You know, there's never been a case like this. Normally you pay a lot of money to get things going. Here's a case where we're paying a lot of money to stop things because we don't want people to be together so that this virus doesn't continue onward. So there's never been anything like this in history. There's never been it, and nobody's ever seen anything like this. But we're doing the right thing. We have to get rid of, our big war is it's not a financial war, it's a war, it's a medical war. We have to win this war, it's very important. With that, I'd like to just introduce Dr. Stephen Hahn. And again, I'd like to send back with Stephen our thanks to all of the people working at the FDA who are fantastic, talented people. We appreciated very much everything you've done, especially the speed that you got these two elements, these two very important drugs passed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank you for your leadership during this coronavirus outbreak, and thank you for the kind words about the FDA staff. We have 10,000 scientists, doctors, and others, and more than that, working around the clock to aid the American people in this fight against the coronavirus, and those words are very much appreciated, sir. Thank you.
Well, crap, hold on.
Before the president nominated me and I was confirmed Food and Drugs, I was a cancer doctor. And I've sat across from countless number of patients and had to talk to them about their diagnosis and their treatment. And one thing that was really important is to provide hope. I have great hope for how we're going to come out of this situation. What's also important is not to provide false hope, but to provide hope. And as a doctor, that's the way I've come to this. I'm speaking now to the American people as Commissioner of Food and Drugs, but that part of me has not left. Just look at the way the American people have responded to our calls for mitigation, for social distancing. The American people have great resiliency, and I am so incredibly proud of how the American people have responded. As the President mentioned, he asked us to be aggressive, to break down barriers to innovation, and to accelerate the development of life-saving treatments. And we're doing that at the FDA. The FDA is committed to continuing to provide regulatory flexibility and guidance. But let me make one thing clear. FDA's responsibility to the American people is to ensure that products are safe and effective. And yet we are continuing to do that. Our folks and their tremendous professionals are working day and night to do this. You just can't even imagine how much they're working to provide this support for the American people, and I thank them. Since early January, long before the first domestic case, FDA began working in collaboration with CDC. I also want to note that we stood up an incident command group and have been focused on the coronavirus since the very beginning of this public health emergency. This is, in addition, an all-of-government and all-America approach, and I'll describe what I mean by that in terms of the development of therapeutics. An important part of that work is expanding the potential therapeutic options associated with coronavirus, and we've learned from our colleagues across the globe about this. But I want to focus on one thing. I was a cancer researcher before all this, and one thing I know about this great country of ours is that we have unbelievable innovators. We have people who every day, it's their job to develop treatments for all sorts of diseases. We are incredibly blessed as a country to have this. And as is true in any illness, these great American innovators, academia, private sector, they have engaged us about the best possible treatment options. We are looking at everything that's coming across our desks as possible treatment options for coronavirus. And we're extremely encouraged by the interest and the promise that we've seen from these great American innovators. Now again, we need to look at it. We need the data, we need the information to make the absolute best decisions for American people. But I want to assure you, we have over 17,000 people at FDA who are doing this every day. We need to make sure that the sea of new treatments will get the right drug to the right patient at the right dosage at the right time. As an example, we may have the right drug, but it may not be in the appropriate dosage form right now, and that may do more harm than good. Those are the things that's our job to look at, and that's why it's really important we have these dedicated professionals looking at these aspects of therapeutic development. At the same time, we're also working through different mechanisms to actually get drugs into the hands of providers and patients. The president mentioned this, but one of the mechanisms is called compassionate use. Let me just tell you about this. If there's an experimental drug that's potentially available, a doctor could ask for that drug to be used in a patient. We have criteria for that and very speedy approval for that. The important thing about compassionate use, and that's what the president meant, this is even beyond right to try, is that we get to collect the information about that. Because one of the things that I'll promise the American people is we will collect the data and then make the absolute right decisions based upon those data about the safety and efficacy of the treatments. We are working expeditiously, and we are working to make sure that these products are as safe and effective as they possibly can be. Let me tell you about a few things that we're currently working on. And this is a plan that was developed with many of the people at this table, our infectious disease experts on the task force. In the short term, we're looking at drugs that are already approved for other indications. So they're already approved, as the president said, for other diseases. As an example, many Americans have read studies and heard media reports about this drug chloroquine, which is an anti-malarial drug. It's already approved, as the president said, for the treatment of malaria as well as an arthritis condition. That's a drug that the president has directed us to take a closer look at as to whether an expanded use approach to that could be done to actually see if that benefits patients. And again, we want to do that in the setting of a clinical trial, a large pragmatic clinical trial, to actually gather that information and answer the question that needs to be answered and asked and answered. Let me give you another example. There's a cross-agency effort about something called convalescent plasma. This is a pretty exciting area. And again, this is something that we have given assistance to other countries with as this crisis has developed. So FDA has been working for some time on this. If you've been exposed to coronavirus and you're better, you don't have the virus in your blood, we could collect the blood. Now, this is a possible treatment. This is not a proven treatment. Just want to emphasize that. Collect the blood, concentrate that, and have the ability, once it's pathogen-free, that is virus-free, be able to give that to other patients, and the immunoglobulins, the immune response, could potentially provide a benefit to patients. It's another thing that we're looking at. Over the next couple of weeks, we'll have more information that we're really pushing hard to try to accelerate that. That's in the sort of more medium short term, and that'll be a bridge to other therapies that will take us 3 to 6 months to develop. And this is a continuous process. There is no beginning and end to each of this. This is, we're pushing this through. The other great thing about the great innovators of America is some of them tell us it's taken us years to develop therapies. They're looking at pushing that to the months period of time. And we're trying to provide them the regulatory flexibility, but at the same time, the scientific oversight to make sure that gets done in the best way possible for the American people. The president mentioned that there is a vaccine trial currently being performed. It's a phase 1 trial, so it's the earliest study that gets done. We expect that to take 12 months to get to completion, to actually a time when we could approve a vaccine. But these are all things to bridge to the prevention part of this with the vaccine. It's exciting work, and the president is right. This is record time for the development of a vaccine, and impressive public-private partnership. The FDA's efforts to facilitate the development of these products are focused on ensuring timely access while also meeting the agency's world-respected gold standard, relying on strong data from clinical trials to determine if an experimental or an off-the-shelf drug that's used for something else can safely and effectively treat patients. We want to assure the American people that FDA is all hands on deck, as the president mentioned, these efforts, and continue to work with interested sponsors to help expedite the work. We remain steadfast in helping to foster the development of safe and effective therapies for COVID-19. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. President. The White House Coronavirus Task Force met this morning, and on this very first day of spring, we continue to make steady progress toward President Trump's objective not only to marshal all the resources of the federal government, every state government, every local health official, but also to harness the power of the American private sector, and activities over the last day reflect all of those priorities. Yesterday, the President spoke with America's top physicians and nurses and garnered helpful insights about how we can best serve those who are serving Americans that are dealing with the coronavirus. We also had a productive call with over 5,000 state and local officials explaining the federal government's approach and our strong and seamless partnership with all 50 states and the territories. Last night, as you heard, the President signed the Family First Coronavirus Response Act, which provides free coronavirus testing, paid sick leave, family leave for caregivers, and food assistance for the needy, among a broad range of benefits. And today, as the President indicated, we expect that the Senate will begin work on an economic relief package. Later today, the President and I will meet again in a teleconference with the nation's governors. We will meet at the National Response Coordination Center at FEMA and outline President Trump's decision to have FEMA take the lead in our national coronavirus response. Our nation's response through FEMA will be locally executed, state managed, and federally supported. On testing, we want the American people to know once again that testing is available in all 50 states and is becoming increasingly available literally every hour of the day.
Why would you give FEMA anything?
Partnership that the President initiated several weeks ago with major commercial
Ask the people of Louisiana how that turned out.
We received a report today that tens of thousands of tests are being performed every day. And with the passage of last night's legislations, the state and private labs are now required by law to report all coronavirus testing directly to the CDC, which will give the American public and also give our researchers timely and important information. It's important for every American to remember that if you don't have symptoms, you don't need to get a test. We want to make sure that testing is available for people that are experiencing symptoms or have a genuine concern about having been exposed to someone with the coronavirus. Dr. Birx will address county level data as well as the progress we've made on testing, and Americans can expect to see how an increased number of cases as our new testing system comes online should not be a cause of concern. She'll explain
Oh, yeah, sure. No,
taking into account
not at
our
all.
new testing system as new data arrives over the next several days. On supplies, the priority the President has given to our task force, we continue to work with healthcare providers, businesses, and state leadership to identify available supplies, not merely in the federal stockpile, but much more importantly, available across the private sector. We're encouraged to see companies like Honeywell and 3M that I visited a few short weeks ago take advantage of the changes in the law last night that allow the sale of industrial masks directly to hospitals. Those companies have now greatly increased by the tens of millions their production of so-called N95 masks that will give our healthcare workers the protection that they need to minister to those that are dealing with the symptoms or the disease of coronavirus. Following the signing of last night's bill, all of those masks now have liability protection, and the companies can sell industrial masks to hospitals. It is encouraging, as we called out yesterday, to see construction companies all across America that are, as we speak, checking their supplies and donating those industrial masks to their local hospitals. And I know I speak on behalf of the President, who spent a lot of time as a builder, and we thank builders across America for partnering with our local healthcare officials. On the subject of ventilators, we're working with healthcare providers around America and suppliers. We're encouraged to learn that we've literally identified tens of thousands of ventilators that can be converted to treat patients. And we remain increasingly confident that we will have the ventilators that we need as the coronavirus makes its way across America. But as we said before, we're all in this together. And before I step away and give the podium back to the President and to Dr. Birx, I want to call every American's attention again to the President's 15 days to slow the spread. We continue to hear one case after another, one city after another, where people are putting into practice the principles that the President outlined this Monday. And make no mistake about it, that while for the American people as a whole, the risk of serious illness remains low, these guidelines should be practiced by every American in every community, not only to lessen the spread of the coronavirus, but to protect the most vulnerable among us. And I think Americans from their hearts are not only practicing these principles of social distancing and avoiding social gatherings of more than 10 people, using drive-thrus at restaurants to protect their own health and the health of their family, but they're also recognizing that no American wants to inadvertently convey the coronavirus to someone for whom the consequences could be quite serious. At the President's direction, we'll continue to marshal all the resources of government at every level. We'll be reiterating that strong partnership with America's states this afternoon, with America's governors, pulling all of the private sector energy together, the innovation that you just heard described. I know on this first day of spring that we'll get through this, and we'll get through this together. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I know you're watching the data carefully. You can see the dramatic increases in the number of new cases based on our ability to test additional people. And this will continue over the next 2 to 3 days as we begin to have backlogs reduced of the testing. You all have heard the anecdotes of people waiting 5 or 6 days for their test results. We are moving through all of that as well as testing individuals. I really want to applaud the frontline healthcare workers, the nurses and the doctors and the testers that have really prioritized, and the American people who have prioritized those with symptoms. The number of test positives is increasing. That is a dramatically important signature that everybody is doing their job. Those with mild symptoms are staying home, self-isolating. Those with serious symptoms are coming forward to getting testing. Our test positive rates are now into the 10 to 11% range. That still means that 90% of the illnesses out there, and even the severe ones, are not COVID-19. I know many of you are looking at the state level data. Still over 50% of the cases come from 3 states. This is why we continue to prioritize testing in those states. In addition, 50% of the cases come from 10 counties. We're a very large country with very many counties, and I just want to applaud the local and state governments that are implementing their emergency operations centers and plans to ensure. I want to also really thank the healthcare workers that have been asked to reduce all elective surgeries, medical, and dental visits. This will dramatically increase the number of ventilators that are available in hospitals, but also in ambulatory surgical centers that can be converted and utilized. And also to the construction industry. We are deeply grateful the number, as Vice President said, the number of individuals have come forward with their construction masks, their booties, their Tyvek suits, and their masks to contribute them to the healthcare sector. The President's request to make this available in that legislation changes the ability and increases our availability immediately by even 75 to 90% range because of the amount of construction use of those elements. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zimmerman. Please.
Thank you, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President. Today, you heard a wonderful announcement from the FDA, and I just want to give a shout out to Steve, Dr. Hahn, and the folks at the FDA, where several hundred of my Commission 4 officers work. You're right, Mr. President. They are tireless. They're doing things that have never been done before to bring the most prudent advances to the American people. But I want to talk about something different briefly. We know many of you are home practicing the President's guidelines for social distancing. But one thing we should all consider, especially our millennials and Gen Z, is donating blood. As an anesthesiologist who still practices at Walter Reed taking care of our wounded warriors and our soldiers, I know donated blood is an essential part of caring for patients, and one donation can save up to 3 lives. Blood centers are open now and in need of your donation. I want Americans to know that blood donation is safe, and blood centers are taking extra precautions at this time based on new CDC recommendations, including spacing beds 6 feet apart, disinfecting surfaces between patients, temperature checking staff, and encouraging donors to make appointments ahead of time so we can space them out. social distancing does not have to mean social disengagement. So give blood today. You'll feel good about it, and you'll be helping your country and your community during this crisis. And you might even save a life.
Yeah, please.
President, switching to the efforts to boost the economy or Congress, will you guarantee that the money, the billions, the tens of billions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars even, that's going to go to these industries will not go to executive bonuses or more stock buybacks?
Well, we don't want that. In fact, some companies, as you know, did stock buybacks, and I was never happy with that. It's very hard to tell them not to, but I would tell them not to. I would say I don't like it for that reason. Some did, and it turned out that they could have waited a long time. It would have been much better off if they didn't.
You can make a condition of the bill. You can say that none of this money can go.
I'm making, it takes many, many people in this case to tango. But as far as I'm concerned, that conditions like that would be okay with me. John?
President, if I could, a question for you and then a question for Dr. Hahn. You enabled, I guess is probably the best way to put it, the Defense Production Act yesterday, but you didn't pull the trigger on it.
No, because we hope we're not going to need them.
You're getting a lot of calls on Capitol Hill from the Democratic leadership to pull the trigger on it. What's the rationale for not doing it?
First of all, governors are supposed to be doing a lot of this work, and they are doing a lot of this work. Federal government's not supposed to be out there buying vast amounts of items and then shipping. We're not a shipping clerk. The governors are supposed to be, as with testing, the governors are supposed to be doing it. We'll help out, and we'll help out wherever we can, and we can buy in volume, and in some cases, great volume. With the masks, as an example, which were really a problem. We have helped out, and there are right now millions of masks being made. But this is really for the local governments, governors, and people within the state, depending on the way they divide it up. And they'll do that, and they're doing a very good job of it. Where you have a problem with ventilators, we're working very hard trying to find. Nobody in their wildest dreams would have ever thought that we need tens of thousands of ventilators. This is something that's very unique to what happened.
Under what conditions would you put the Defense Production Act into action?
Well, we were desperately in need of something, and we frankly will know about that very shortly. We want to be ahead of, we don't want to do it as it happens, but before it happens. We're going to know a lot over the next 2 or 3 days. We'll know a lot.
Dr. Hahn, any idea when remdesivir will be available to the market? And are there any drugs in the pipeline that you believe could qualify for a treatment IND?
So with respect to the first question, I'm prohibited by law to disclose confidential commercial information. What I can tell you is we're working very closely with the company on this, and we'll have additional information. They will relatively soon. Yes, there are drugs in the pipeline. We're looking at everyone. Everyone on this dais gets calls every day, as do all of our people at the FDA, about potential therapeutic options. We are looking at every single one of them.
President, 2 questions for you. One on coronavirus, but just really quickly, are you confirming that Austin Tice is still alive?
No, I'm not, but we're trying to find that out. This has been going on for years. Many years they've been trying to find Austin Tice. He was in Syria, as you know. His mother is an incredible woman. And I'm doing it for him, but I'm doing it for his mother. His mother's an incredible woman who's desperate to find her son. And I'm not confirming a lot, but if he is alive, we would like very much to get him back quickly.
Okay, and on coronavirus, speaking of shortages of supplies, the CDC has put out guidelines for hospitals that are dealing with a shortage of masks to use them beyond their shelf life, reuse them instead of getting new ones, and in a worst case scenario, use a bandana instead of a mask. How is that acceptable at all?
Well, I haven't seen that, but I will let Mike answer that question, Vice President.
I'm happy to, Mr. President. I can't emphasize enough the incredible progress that was made with the passage of the legislation last night. The President had me go to Minnesota to meet with 3M that manufactures these N95 masks a few weeks ago. And we learned of their production at that facility of 35 million masks a month. Less than 5 million of those were qualified to be sold to hospitals. So the President worked with Republican and Democrat leadership. We've extended the liability protection. So now that all the industrial masks that are manufactured as N95s are now available to hospitals, and we're seeing a dramatic increase in production Honeywell alone is repurposing a factory that was destined for Mexico to produce another 120 million masks per year. 3M is increasing output to 420 million masks per year. We put a priority at the President's direction on making sure those that are providing healthcare services to America have the protection to keep themselves and their families safe. And with the legislation last night, with the incredible response among these great private sector companies, and as we mentioned repeatedly, with construction companies around America heeding the President's call to donate their industrial masks to hospitals, it's happening all over America. We know we'll meet that need.
But when will this be ready? Isn't that
How
kind of
many
sad
masks
thinking
are
of
being
the-
made, and when will they be ready, or at least we start getting them ready?
Well, as I mentioned, 3M is increasing their output to 420 million a year. At production in January, they make 35 million per month at that facility. And we're prioritizing the distribution of those. But the other thing, and we'll emphasize this with governors this afternoon, is we're working with governors to make sure that the healthcare providers, the hospitals, and the clinics in their state are placing orders now that this tremendous increase in supply, particularly with industrial masks, is now available. We're going to make sure they understand that the supply has greatly expanded thanks to bipartisan legislation and the accomplishment of the President. And the response by these companies is making more masks available. And we're going to make sure healthcare providers are purchasing those. And the federal government will also make sure that our stockpile properly reflects those increases as well.
So, on the President's question, when will those masks be ready for, because they need them like today?
They're available now. The 3M facility that I was at told me that in January, they went to full production on 35 million masks. The legislative change means that all 35 million of those that started to be produced at full capacity in January can now be sold to hospitals. That's the distinction here. It's a very important change, and it's part of the way the President's been engaging the private sector, pushing the kind of regulatory reform and the kind of liability reform that has greatly expanded the availability of masks. So they're in the marketplace now. We're going to make it clear to governors, as we made it clear to healthcare providers in conference calls yesterday, that those resources are now there. We vastly increased the supply of medical masks, and we're going to continue to put a priority on making sure that we're calling on industry at every level, calling on major suppliers that the President met with this week to make sure that those personal protective equipment are there.
Some of that had to do with the liability to the company. They had a big problem with liability, and much of it had to do with the liability to the company.
President, thank you. Two for you and one for Dr. Hahn. The American Hospital Association just told NBC News that they need $100 billion in order to address shortages in equipment and other infrastructure there. You just signed 2 legislative packages. They say it didn't directly give money to address this issue. Why not? And will you commit to making sure?
We're looking at that issue directly with them, and that's a separate issue, but we're looking at that issue very directly.
Sure.
We're looking at it very directly. We're going to do our best on it, but we're working with Democrats and Republicans on that. We're looking at that very specifically.
Can you bottom line, people, when can Americans expect their lives to go back to normal? Will that not happen until there's a vaccine?
I hope very soon. We'll see. This is uncharted territory, as you know. We think we have ideas. It doesn't help to say what the ideas are. I would hope very soon we pull together as a nation. People are, for the most part, doing what they're supposed to be doing. The social distancing is very interesting. A whole new term has become somewhat of a hot term, but people are listening and they're really doing a great job. This country is an amazing country. I think you're up to 141 different countries right now. So it's very uncharted territory. Could have been stopped pretty easily if everybody had known about it a number of months before people started reading about it.
You said you didn't.
Excuse me. Before we started reading about it, it could have been stopped in its tracks. Unfortunately, they didn't decide to make it public, but the whole world is suffering because of it.
You did say 2 days ago that you did have a sense that this was a pandemic, that it was coming. So why was the United States not prepared for more testing?
We were very prepared. The only thing we weren't prepared for was the media. The media has not treated it fairly. I'll tell you how prepared I was. I called for a ban from people coming in from China long before anybody thought it was. In fact, it was your network. I believe they called me a racist because I did that. It was many of the people in the room, they called me racist and other words because I did that, because I went so early. So when you say we weren't prepared, had I let these tens of thousands of people come in from China a day, we would have had something right now that would have been, you wouldn't have even recognized it compared to where we are. How many people have passed away? How many people have died as of this moment? You could multiply that by a factor of many, many, many. So when you say that I wasn't prepared, I was the first one to do the ban. Now other countries are following what I did. But the media doesn't acknowledge that. They know it's true. They know it's true, but they don't want to write about it. Yeah, go ahead.
One for the medical professionals. I wanted to just follow up on John and Caitlin's question. So it's not just masks. Doctors are saying now that they are desperate for other personal protective gear, gloves, other equipment. Governors are saying
Well,
they don't have
the reason why everybody's desperate to get stuff is because they only do just-in-time shipping. So if you have 3 packs of gloves on hand, you're only going to have 3 packs of gloves on hand. They don't keep a storeroom anymore.
We're working with the states.
That's just-in-time shipping, America.
We're working with everybody. The relationships are great.
The reason why there's no stocks on the shelves too.
Mickey Harrison of Carnival Cruise Lines, and he's going to make ships available. So in addition to the big medical ships that you have coming, if we should need ships with lots of rooms, they'll be docked at New York and Los Angeles and San Francisco, different places.
Oh, that's what I want to do. I want to get on a cruise ship so they can take it out in the middle of the ocean and sink it. There went 5,000 dead.
Yeah, if we find
Accident.
that we need something, that we will do that. And you don't know what we've done. You don't know whether or not we've ordered. You don't know if we've invoked it. You don't know what's been ordered, what's not been ordered. I can only tell you that, as an example, masks. Nobody ever heard of the number of masks that's been ordered. They're being made now, and many are available now. But people, I think, in the media probably don't know that. Go ahead, Beyond.
Can you explain the gap for the American people and what you're saying here today about there being tens of thousands of tests available, about how there being a huge amount of masks available, and what we're seeing on the ground, which is really the opposite of that. People are saying that they can't get tested even when they have symptoms. People are saying that doctors are telling us they don't have access to vital equipment. Can you explain that gap?
Well, I cannot explain the gap. I'm hearing very good things on the ground, and we're dealing with them. They had to ramp up. They had an obsolete system, and they had a system simultaneously that was not meant for this. It wasn't meant for this. Nobody knew there'd be a pandemic or an epidemic of this proportion. Nobody's ever seen anything like this before. I can tell you that what we're doing is we're working with local governments, with states, governments.
So I want to know why we're going to have a prescription for an herb.
To be able to get what they need. And the system
a malaria drug that's made from what I am broadcasting and have been broadcasting for the past 3 days.
That was the system we inherited. And now we
so
have
tell me why I need a prescription for an herb.
It's certainly going to be great for the future.
Are they going to patent the herb?
Mr. President, there seems to be a backlash building among congressional Republicans and their supporters about a corporate bailout. In particular, Senator Mike Ron said that this could harken back to 2008, where we're picking winners and losers, and he indicated that he and some of his colleagues may not be comfortable with that. What do you say to that?
Well, we don't want to pick winners and losers. We want everybody to benefit. We want, I think, more than anything else, the workers to benefit. And sometimes for the worker to benefit, you have to go through the company because they have thousands of workers. And if the company goes out of business, no fault of their own, those workers aren't going to be able to receive a check. So we're, look, our ultimate goal are the people. Our ultimate goal are the great people of this country. And we will have things worked out. I think that are going to be very well. It's a very complex formula. You understand that. It's very complex. But it's working out. I think it's going to be very well. I think we're going to have pretty uniform support for it. Please.
We're hearing the State Department is going to put out an advisory telling Americans not to travel overseas at all. Are you putting in an overseas travel ban?
We're speaking with the State Department later. I can't say right now because I haven't had the meeting yet.
Hey, President Trump, I wanted to ask Dr. Hahn about today's announcement, if I could. Dr. Hahn, thank you so much. I wanted to ask about Remdesivir, if I pronounced that correctly. Can you say, is it currently approved for use on the virus?
So Remdesivir, and it's a drug made by Gilead that's been in the press. It is currently in clinical trials here and around the world. We have also made it available by that approach that I told you called compassionate use, where a doctor could ask the FDA for that. And the really positive thing about that gives it rapidly to a doctor and a patient, but it allows us to collect the data, because what we really need to do is understand what the data and science are in order to make the appropriate decision about safety and effectiveness.
So how do you just make sure that it is safe? And I mean, is there any concern at all that it will be safe, considering that it's not going through the normal process and could potentially cause negative effects? Dr. Fauci earlier talked about we do not want to put out anything that can cause negative effects. Is there any concern about those kind of things with this drug?
Yeah, thank you for that question, because I just want to be clear about this. Remdesivir is going through the normal process. We are using our internal processes at FDA to set up with the company the protocols to actually collect the data. And you're right, we need to actually know about the safety and the effectiveness, and that's done through the clinical trial process. So it's those data that are going to inform the decisions that are ultimately made about safety and efficacy. This is an unprecedented situation. This is a really significant time. And one thing that, with the President's leadership, FDA has done is said, okay, how do we approach these extraordinary times with extraordinary measures, knowing that we have a sacred trust with the American people about safety and efficacy, but still at the same time enable these treatments to get into patients, and that's what we're doing.
How likely is it that the 15-day guidance that you have put through will be extended?
I can only tell you on the 14th day. We'll have indications later on.
Dr. Burks indicated that there are 3 states and 10 counties, if I got that right, where 50% of the cases are focused. Should those areas be doing more measures such as shelter in place?
I think they actually are doing a lot. I mean, I know New York is working very diligently, been very strong. I assume San Francisco is one of the areas, and Los Angeles, and state of Washington, obviously, that's one that has to be up there. They're all working very hard to quarantine, or words just about the equivalent of quarantine.
Plans are for government workers. Are you moving toward the government as well to start doing more teleworking?
We are, and we're using the medical term of telemedicine, and it's been incredibly busy, and really, where people don't have to, and some people can't do it anyway. They can't get up, they can't see a doctor. But we're using this, and it's been telehealth, different names, and I will tell you that it's been really successful. It's helped a lot of people out where they don't have to, and they can't, and even from a safety reason, if they are positive, if they are feeling poorly, they can't do it, or we don't want them transmitting anything to anybody else.
Mr. President, if I could, on China, they reported for the first time since the outbreak, no new cases over a 24-hour period. Do you have any reason to disbelieve them? And second to that, the National Security Council yesterday put out a tweet very critical of the Chinese government, saying the Chinese Communist Party suppressed initial reports of the Chinese virus.
No.
Causing Chinese and
They lied?
miss.
No.
They
wouldn't
do that. Global pandemic.
No.
Much better if we had known about this a number of months earlier.
What the hell are we laughing at?
Contained to that one area in China.
Mr. TB9, I was making it rain.
And certainly the world is paying a big price for what
hand sanitizing wipe singles.
The world is paying a very big price for not letting them come out. Everybody knows.
Mr. Stinger was making it rain toilet paper.
As far as believing what they're putting out now, I hope it's true. Who knows? But I hope it's true. I really do.
I see your 12-pack, and I have a 20-pack, and I will trade it for 10 ounces of silver or 1 ounce of gold. And I'll even throw in a roll of toilet paper. And if you're really lucky, I'll throw in a Germex hand sanitizing wipe for on the go.
I don't want to comment on that right now. Yeah.
I have a question for you and also a question for Dr. Burks. American workers across the country are losing their jobs at an unprecedented rate, and your former economist said we could see some of the worst job numbers ever. Is the government prepared to see this spike in unemployment?
Worst case scenario, you would have terrible job numbers. If we can get this thing wrapped up and finished earlier, things will go very nicely. And one of the things they're working, as you know, one of the elements that is being worked on very much so in the Hill is to keep the jobs going, so that when we do get rid of the virus, we're gonna be able to just really, I think, go like a rocket. I think the economy is gonna be fantastic. Now, when he said that, he was using that as the ultimate bad outcome. I don't think anybody believes that's gonna happen.
Members of Congress are now being tested positive for members of Congress.
Oh, that's the worst news ever.
Coronavirus, and we have almost 2,000 who are self-quarantining. Do you have any guidance for Congress? Should they?
I know all of them, and I don't know if they're sitting like you people are sitting. You're actually sitting too close. We should probably get rid of about another 75-80% of you. I'll have just 2 or 3 that I like in this room. I think that's really, we just need a new way of doing it. I think you're actually much too close. You two.
Oh, he's gonna catch flack for that comment.
But
Yeah,
look,
of course.
I know all of them. They tested positive. Hopefully they're all gonna
Mr.
get
Tommy
better.
Boy 9 says, I'll throw in
And,
2 large Depends,
what
5
do they say?
tampons, and
Congress.
5 Advil. Oh,
Yeah, dude, I
up
don't
in the
have any
ante.
5-ounce bars. I only got 10-ounce bars.
I know some where they tested positive.
I'll throw in
Quarantine, and I know,
eat your coffee
Lindsay and
fudgy
many
mocha
others,
latte,
they didn't test it, but until they got the result, they
and
put themselves in quarantine.
I'll
A number of
I'll
people in
raise you
Congress right now are in quarantine. They
to
don't know the result. When they get the result, they'll either stay
wipes,
there
to
and get
Germex
better,
wipes
because
in
people get
single
better.
serve
Most
packages.
people are getting better. Most, by far, the people, you get better. Doesn't mean it's not a tough one. It is a tough one. But no, when they, many people in Congress have felt not perfect, or they met somebody that wasn't
I'm
perfect,
above it.
turned out to
Congress
be
got
positive,
a few of these cases.
they've put themselves in quarantine. And I think that
That's
Congress
draining the
has
swamp.
unbelievably well in that regard.
On the stimulus, there's.
I know I'm not supposed to say that, but.
Economy. Do you think $1 trillion
Yeah, I don't know.
is enough?
We'll know about that.
Well, no, $1 trillion of stimulus is not enough. Let's print a
So much
quadrillion
what's going on in this room in
and just
terms
make
of-
it rain cash.
It's just
It's
it's
useless
made up money.
anyways.
Stop it in its tracks.
Maybe we can sew it into blankets whenever the fucking economy
We'll have to go
crashes.
Do you support the idea of the government taking an equity stake in certain companies?
I do, I really do. I'm not gonna say, but I think so. Look, people are coming in for money. In some cases, no fault of their own, but in some cases, where they did certain things over the course of the years, including buying back stock. You know, they bought back stock and they paid a high price for it, as it turned out. But maybe I view that as a little bit differently than somebody that didn't, than somebody that built plants all over the United States, of which there were plenty of them too.
Airlines or Boeing, or what do you think?
We will be helping the airline industry, we will be helping the cruise ship industry, we probably will be helping the hotel industry, we'll probably be, where jobs are created. You don't want to lose industries like this. These are incredible industries, you can't lose them. So we'll be focused on many industries. And I have to say, I can't say it strongly enough, we will be helping small businesses. That's where it's complicated, because a lot of small, that's the engine of the country. We will be helping small businesses.
Two members of Congress have tested positive for coronavirus. Basically, votes that you need to pass this $1 trillion stimulus package for the economy.
I also have 1 inhaler, 3 Trojans, so you can keep.
No. There could be. We're looking at a couple of things that I could do.
Well, you might need some sandpaper lube.
There's a lot of executive power.
Sounds like we're gonna get the green weenie with no Vaseline, so you might want to.
Thank you, Mr. President. One for you, and potentially as well, one for either Dr. Burgess, Dr. Adams. Right now, the economy is essentially ground to a halt.
Thanks for telling us. We appreciate it.
Stores have closed.
Thanks for telling us. My man, that's why I like Trump.
Everybody knows that.
He reminds me of my shit talking skills.
Working right now, or business owners who have to make critical decisions. How long should they expect the state of affairs as it stands at this moment to play out? And for the doctors,
18 months.
I'll be able to tell you that I think in the near future. We'll see where we're going. You're going to see numbers. You've seen the graphs. you're gonna see numbers and we'll be able to let you know. I will say that the American public has been incredible for the most part, not in all cases, but for the most part. So you'll be able to see what's happening over the next, as we say, we had a 15-day period. You'll be able to tell a lot in a week or so, not everything, but we'll be able to see over a period of time.
And for all the parents that are home right now, and this is a question for Dr. Burke or Dr. Adams, who are caring for their children and are curious as to when might my kids be able to go back to school, what do you think is a realistic timeline?
Well, I think
Be a parent, take care of
all
your
of those decisions
fucking
are made at
kids.
state and local government level, and each state and local government has handled it differently. That's why we put out from the president federal presidential guidance to every single person about what we think is important for the next 2 weeks. And as we look at that data, we'll be able to see if it's having an impact. I think you've all seen the modeling studies. Those were driven by the modeling studies showing that if you add these things together, they have a bigger impact than separately. And so those are part of the decision making. We had a whole group of modelers in yesterday. They're compositing all the data together to look at this carefully because everyone has those same questions of what the impact will be and what pieces could essentially be removed and you still have the same level of impact in decreasing the spread of the virus. The absolute key to this, though, is every single American looking at the president guidelines and taking it seriously. The acts of selflessness that I am seeing are so impressive across the board. But if even 10 or 15% of the population decides that what they're doing today is more important than the health and welfare of the rest of the Americans, they can spread the virus in a very strong way because you know the level of contagion.
And I have to say, if chloroquine or hydroxychloroquine works, or any of the other things that they're looking at that are not quite as far out, but if they work, your numbers are gonna come down very rapidly. So we'll see what happens, but there's a real chance that they might work. Go ahead, please, in the back.
Thank you so much. What's your message for some leaders in Latin America, like the president of Brazil, who just on Sunday was taking photos with supporters and encouraging mass demonstration? And just yesterday, the president from Brazil said that we should not be surprised if we see him in the next few days in a crowded subway in São Paulo or in a bus in Rio, because he is the president and should be the people. What do you think about that? What's your message?
Well, he's a friend of mine, number one, and number two, we had dinner the other night and everybody said he was positive and he wasn't positive, he tested negative, so that was, I was quite happy when I heard that. But I have no message for him other than he's doing a good job in Brazil. He's doing a good job in Brazil and he's very popular.
How about encouraging mass demonstration at this moment?
I can't tell you about that, I don't know about that, I have not heard that. He's doing a very good job. Brazil was very troubled before he got there. And the people love him and he's popular. I think he's doing a very good job.
There were Americans who were traveling abroad who were essentially stuck, unable to come home. We spoke to a group of 10 women who, Americans. 10, Where? Well, we spoke to 10 American women who were in Morocco, for instance. All the flights have been canceled. Their hotel is shutting down. They literally have no place to stay and no way to get home. They are asking you, they're asking the administration, the U.S. government for help. What can be done?
We know about it. We have groups. We have a group of young people in Peru, and we're working on taking care of that with the military.
So military evacuation?
Yeah, we're looking to take, no, not evacuation. We're trying to get them out. And, they got caught. They were late with their flights. We gave them a period of time. They didn't make it, but we're looking to get them out with the military, probably through the military. We have a group of young people, I think young men or young people, could be women also with them from Alabama, the great state of Alabama, and they're in Peru, and we're working on that right now, trying to get them out. It's a large group. It's about 300. Well, we're going to work it out, Jeff.
Mr. President, two sort of foreign policy related questions. In your talk with the G7 leaders earlier this week, did you discuss together ending or postponing the Olympics?
Yeah, we did discuss it. As you know, Prime Minister Abiy was on the call, and that's a big decision for him, and we don't know what his decision is, but we'd live with his decision. It's a tough situation. They've done an incredible job. Japan has done an incredible job when building the venues, getting them built. You've seen so many Olympic venues that have been a disaster over the years where they cost 5 times more than they were supposed to. They weren't ready on time. Japan has been just the opposite. They built it beautifully. They built it for what it was supposed to be built for. But then he got hit with the same thing that the rest of the world got hit with unexpectedly. He has told us that he has not made a decision as to what to do.
Also on foreign policy, have you spoken to the leaders of Saudi Arabia or Russia and encouraged them to stop this flood of oil that is affecting the market?
Well, the one thing I will tell you is that from the standpoint, you always get a little bit torn because, until we became the leading producer, I was always for the person driving the car and filling up the tank of gas, and you'd have gasoline, and the prices were,
it's
if
not
they
a
were
bad
too
thing to
high,
have
I
low
would
gas
always
prices.
raise hell with OPEC. And I was always somebody that likes it. I never thought I'd see 22 and 24 and $28 a barrel, but that's what we have. And in one way, our consumer is very much helped. It's like a massive tax increase. That's bigger than any tax decrease that you could give. We can give all these big tax cuts, but they're paying so little for gasoline. But on the other hand, it hurts a great industry and a very powerful industry. So I spoke with numerous people that have a lot to do with it, and we have a lot of power over the situation, and we're trying to find some kind of a medium ground. It's very devastating to Russia because when you look, their whole economy is based on that, and we have the lowest oil prices in decades. So it's very devastating to Russia. I would say it's very bad for Saudi Arabia, but they're in a fight. They're in a fight on price. They're in a fight on output. And at the appropriate time, I'll get involved.
And forgive me if I missed it. What will the Carnival cruise ships be used for?
Well, Mickey called up and he said, if you need them, and we haven't said yes, I'll call Governor Cuomo. I'll call Gavin Newsom, governor from California. I'll call a few of the other governors that are going to bring it up today because we're meeting through telephone, telephonically, as they say, in a little while. At FEMA, I'm going over to FEMA from here.
Hospital beds?
Well, you can increase places to stay. Let's say places to stay, if it works. I don't know, maybe people won't want them, but he made the offer. It was a very generous offer. And he said that he has some ships that would be ideally suited for what we're doing. And certainly they have a lot of rooms. They're big and they have a lot of rooms. So we appreciate it from Carnival.
At what point in the future will any American who wants a test be able to get a test? Because you're talking about not needing a test right now if you're not showing any symptoms, but a lot
Not
of
needing the test?
or only getting tested if you're showing symptoms, but a lot of this.
No, you should only get. We should. I didn't have any symptoms and I got a test, but I got a test because you people were driving everybody crazy. So that's the only reason. I had no symptoms, but I had a test. And my doctor told me don't get it, you don't need it. Everybody said you don't need it, but I had to do it because the press was going.
Just talk to the
crazy.
wife.
And
We
then
got
after I
sweet
got it, they said,
wormwood.
"You shouldn't have gotten it. You
Yes.
have no symptoms."
You have it
So
growing?
in other words, if you get it, it was
Or you
but that's a
purchased
unique
them?
case,
Walter.
unfortunately. But no, people that don't show symptoms and people that have doctors that say they shouldn't get it, I would rely on that. Yeah, I would rely on that.
Walter, you need to start turning that into the quananon that he was talking about earlier.
OAN. Very good. Thank you.
Sell it to the pharmaceutical companies because I'm sure they're going to need plenty of it. Oh, she has an herb store. Well, I'll be damned. Well, there you
No, I
go.
don't think it's racist.
Walter Davis has the
I don't think
cure.
it's racist at all.
Yeah. Awesome. Does she have a web address? Does she sell it locally, or does she have a web address? Because I'll be more than happy to throw that out there and send some business her way. If not, if you prefer snail mail, hopefully you have a P.O. box.
It amazes me when I read the things.
We can put that out there.
It amazes me.
That's the crap. The cash crop this year is going to be elderberry, and elderberry and sweet
I barely read it. We don't distribute
wormwood
it in the White House anymore.
and honey.
Washington Post. Because you see, I know the truth. And people out there in the world, they really don't know the truth. They don't know what it is.
But yes,
They
I have already
use
purchased
different slogans and
more
different concepts
seeds
for me almost every week,
to
trying to
put out
touch something.
for this year,
Last week it
and we'll
was
get
all chaos. You see me,
get
it's
those in the
okay.
ground and get them worked in. The only problem is it's not like the regular
There's no
wormwood.
chaos in the White House. We have unbelievable
It is
professionals.
a
It's really, I
annual
think I came up with the term. I hope I
in
came
my
up with the
area.
term, but it is fake news. It's more than fake news. It's corrupt news. They write stories without calling
So
anybody. They
it's
write a
5 to
story.
6 weeks before
Today,
last
I
frost.
had a
So
couple of
I
stories
ordered
there.
it
They never call me.
a couple days
That I
ago.
know.
So hopefully it'll be here
At least
so
nobody
I can go
tells
ahead
me.
and get it started
They'll write a story about
because
me without
it's
even
barely
asking
covered the
my
seeds.
opinion on something. It's
It looks
totally
like it needs
fake.
light to
I've
germinate.
never seen. I mean, there is a story in the Wall Street Journal today about
So
about how we've done. We've done a phenomenal job.
unfortunately, it is an annual,
The
but
governor's
usually they'll
even
go to
Gavin
seed,
Newsom, who,
and you can
I'm
collect the
usually
seed
fighting
heads,
with over the
which you
fires
probably already know that since your wife does herb stuff.
in the forests
She
and
didn't
lots
do
of
well
issues.
on the
We
internet, so we
argue a lot.
just
But Gavin
store.
Newsom's been very, very generous. Andrew Cuomo's been really very generous. I mean, they're saying we're doing
Right.
a great job. And
Well, I mean, now it
everybody's
looks
fed up,
like
but
it's
they
going to be
believe
that
this
way. So
fake,
I
phony
understand
story
you don't
in
want
the
to
Wall
pay
Street
the
Journal.
monthly fee, but
Or the
you
Washington
should.
Post is going wild lately. I don't know what happened with them. I guess something happened, like we don't call them back or
You
whatever.
do mail
But
order.
the Washington Post, these are very dishonest media sources.
Or
They're
even
phony,
a
dumb.
free website like
And
Wix.
you know what?
You could do
Someday,
Wix.
hopefully in 5 years, I won't be here.
Wix allows you to do a free website
And
that you don't have
that'll
to
be
pay for.
fine. I will have done, I think, a great job because I don't think anyone's done as much in 3.5 years as I've done. I don't think, and the administration. This
But you could
administration's
definitely
done a
probably
great job. But the press is very
cash in on
dishonest.
the retirement, depending on how much of that you have.
Well, I think they do. I mean, they are siding with.
It may not be
They
an
are
annual,
siding
I
with
guess, if you
China.
keep it indoors.
They
But
are doing things that they shouldn't be doing. They're siding with.
I know the stuff you make
Why they're doing this?
absinthe with is perennial
If we
in
had
zone
honest
6.
media in this country, our country would be an even greater place. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. We are very
It seems
excited
like
about
that's
that.
it of it. So I'm gonna turn that off. Okay, so I wanted you to touch on because I was busy texting my sister when Mike Pence came on talking about FEMA. That's why I texted you and asked you to reiterate what he said because I didn't catch it. I think that's probably the thing that we should all be focused on the most, at least in my opinion. Obviously, there's good news that this drug or whatever they have for malaria can be used, but with only a prescription. And I know you know how to do it without one. So let's touch on that.
I can't hear all that, so you got to wait for.
No, you can't hear it because you're listening to the president still.
Oh yeah, well it was double feeding there. Hold on, he's still on. I don't know if you can.
Oh yeah, no, I turned it off, but I'll put it
All right,
back
hold on.
It just sounded like he was getting off air, so
He is, but now they're asking the doctor a question. Oh, they're asking about the vaccine. All right, we're out of there. Let's check out. All right, let me shut that down real quick.
All right.
It's an off-the-shelf drug. All right, now, la. All right, so people, let's see what's going on here. Is that a spider? Oh, it is a spider on my thing. I was like, man, am I tripping out? All right, so obviously we've been here for quite a while, and I'm going to have to check out soon because I have things to do, but let's roll through the comments here. Back to Mr. TV9. He is asked what the hell we were laughing at. I was making it rain with hand sanitizer wipes while they were talking about it. I was going, making it rain, and then Poison Stinger, he did the toilet paper. And then we went into the war. I have a 12-pack N95 mask. I'll trade for 5 ounces of silver. I raised his thing, and he came back with, I'll throw in 2 large Depends, 5 tampons, and 5 Advil. I also have 1 inhaler and 3 Trojans, so you can keep fucking yourself. Yep, right.
You don't
Even though
need to worry about that.
yeah, just talked to my wife. Walter says we have sweet wormwood. If you don't know, Walter's wife has an herb store. So if you want anything herbal wise, contact them. Too bad the Enterprise was scrapped. That would have made a great hospital ship. Yes, very much so. Walter Davis says she has an herb store. So contact Walter Davis. If nothing else, Walter, I'd put your information, contact information, email or something. So that way people can email you or your wife if you're interested in that, because we'll definitely put it out there. So we didn't do well on the internet, so she just does the store and the farmer's market. He says too many people are selling the same things. Yeah, that's the problem in your area. Like we did smudge sticks one year from sage, and like as soon as somebody's seen it, everybody else is like, hey, I got sage too. So yeah, I don't think we'll have a problem now. Everybody's going to be looking for it. 250 acres of family farm can probably find a spot to plant that the deer won't get it. Trump's hands are still moving. He's still talking.
Yeah, let's touch upon the whole FEMA thing, because that's the one thing. As I said, when you couldn't hear me, I was texting my sister, and I wasn't paying attention, and I heard you like, no, and I was like, okay. So I texted you about it, and it's about FEMA. I think we need to touch on that. I think that's one of the most important things that came out of today's conference, or whatever you want to call it. So let's go over that a little bit.
Basically, my standpoint on FEMA is look what they did to the people of Louisiana. That's not happening. They called in. No. My protection, for your protection, stay the fuck away from me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I say. For your protection, stay the fuck away from me, because I will not tolerate that, just like I would not tolerate the blue hats roaming through my neighborhood. So do as you want, do as you may, but FEMA don't come my way, because if I ain't asking, then I don't want it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to give me free money? I'll take your free money and buy some shit that I need with it, but I don't want your FEMA help. I'm not going to a FEMA camp. My family's not going to a FEMA camp. Look what you did to the people down in Louisiana. That's all I got to say. You will not be happy if you try to come to any of these rural communities and try to do what you did in Katrina. So stay away. Don't want you. You want to put up a tent and help people, then that's fine. But don't do anything else. Don't think
knock
that you're
on
gonna
my door.
keep a knocking, but you can't come in.
Three's company theme song. Don't come knock on my door. There's a gun waiting for you.
Well, I mean, what's the alternative? Once they take, I mean, you're at the mercy of them. All those people are getting raped and all that stuff in the stadium. You did nothing to protect them. You did not give them food. You did not. I mean, come on now. Stay in your own home. I mean, the flood, obviously, you couldn't stay in your own home, but this, you can stay in your own home, and protect yourself and your family. If everyone would just stay in their little sector, their fucking own little place, it wouldn't have problems. But people, the have-nots, will come for the people with the haves. I mean, just because I have 7 or 8 of these hand sanitizer wipes makes me a target because, oh, I seen it on TV. I gotta go get his hand sanitizers. Ah.
All right.
That's how ignorant people get. Mr. TB9 says ditto. FEMA was a clown show in Florida after Hurricane. Yeah, I mean, it's a waste of money. It's a waste of taxpayer money. They made all those trailers so quickly, and then they couldn't use them because they were full of asbestos. I didn't even know they made asbestos anymore. But all the FEMA trailers that they were going to drag down to Louisiana when Katrina happened were full of asbestos. Somebody's going to have a bad day. Yeah. I'm a big proponent of saying that they best bring in the fucking Marines whenever they come to my house because National Guard's not ready for that shit. They handed out MREs and then condemned everyone's houses, then set up trailers where you have to go forms a file for aid that was all denied. Yeah. Yeah, you are the only one that can take care of yourself. And if you are caught with your pants down, it's your own damn fault. You should be
Yeah. Apparently the government is not very good on prepping either, because they should have already had a whole bunch of masks set aside for these kind of events.
just in time shipping. Just in time shipping. It's good for the supply, the store. It's bad for the people. When I was growing up, if you had a problem at the store and they didn't have an item on the shelf, you'd say, "Hey, can you go in the back and look?" Well, yeah, sure we can because we got a fucking warehouse behind our. Not now. Now you're just shit out of luck, or you have to order from the internet. If you order from the internet, we'll ship it to you 2 days from our distribution center. They didn't give out the trailers for people to live in. That's where they handed out the firms. The form. Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of those trailers were deemed unfit because they used some kind of. I'm pretty sure it was asbestos insulation. What the hell was that?
Nothing.
Are you cracking?
I'm just popping my knuckles.
Oh, damn, that was loud, bro.
Right? Why should FEMA stock masks? They got coffins. Yeah, I was making the same comment to Irish over here. It's like, well, all them times that Byron would call me in the middle of the night talking about all the FEMA coffins that he's seen lined up.
It's for your family. Just get inside.
Right.
Walter says, yep. Okay. The 30-year-old next door is out of her waitress job, sitting in the driveway watching her 2 brats. It was formaldehyde. Okay, I knew it was something that was not correct, like you couldn't live in it.
Well, that's good. I mean, when you're making trailers for people to live in, why not put something in there?
Yeah, formaldehyde. I mean, that's what they embalm bodies with. So, yeah, not a big deal. We may need FEMA to come here and rescue us because Katrina's happening here. It's like, will not stop raining.
Oh, just if you're not prepared, man, let this be a lesson to you on being prepared for the next go round. That's what I hope. Walter Davis is heading out. Thank you for showing up, Walter.
I didn't get that update yet, so. Okay.
Got to jump. Take care.
Yeah, we're getting ready to get out of here, Walter. I appreciate all you guys coming in the morning. Be here tomorrow. Be here tomorrow for intel briefing so we can be updated from your areas. I appreciate all the information you guys give us. And definitely, if you want to, was it Walter? Yeah, Walter Davis. If you want herbs, Walter Davis's wife has them. So go over and check out him. I'm sure he has an email in his about section.
If you have silver and you want some masks, Mr. Tommy Boy 9s you can go to.
Right. So we have all the OG traders and wholesalers in here.
Yeah.
All right. So that's it for today. Yes. You can get my email and all that stuff from my about. Any social media stuff at the bottom. I'm Irish USMC Vet. That's Poison Stinger. Thumbs up, thumbs down, bitches, moans, complaints, leave them in the comment section below. Start your farm now. Do your gardening. Go to the Home Depot or the Walmart and get garden supplies now before everybody realizes that's what they really need. Mr. Tommy Boy 9, thanks for staying around. Mr. Walter Davis, thank you for staying around today, sir. And we'll see you tomorrow, God willing. Godspeed, Semper Fi. Have a great day.